Today's episode is brought to you by the Vegas Beer Guys and the Sounds in Cinema podcast. The Everything Sequel podcast is brought to you by the Everything Sequel podcast.
That.
Yeah.
She got a big old mouth.
I don't know. When she said that, and you really get a good look at Tom Cruise. This is really the first time in my life with that longer hair where I thought he's compensating and he looks old.
Yeah.
For the first time in his life, he looks old.
Where it happens, where I mean, every film star has this. There's an appearance where they no longer look like the film star you know.
Yeah.
And it's like it happens with every film star. You kind of, it takes a second before you recognize them. You go, "Who's that old man?" "Oh, it's Cary Grant." Okay,
yeah, right.
Now I can watch the rest of the movie. I think post Charade, I think that happens to Cary Grant. Charade's the last movie where I look, you instantly go, "That's Cary Grant," and then after that, it takes a second.
Right.
And I think this is the first Tom Cruise takes a second. Although someone pulled a screenshot of him on a jumbotron at a sports ball game, and
sports ball game,
and he's the spit of Norm Macdonald these days.
Oh wow,
he's morphing into Norm Macdonald,
like his little brother.
His not dead brother, yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I picked that line because I think it gets to the heart of the creative redundancy in this movie. I think there's a correlation between dialogue about actors' hair and creative redundancy in movies. Like, I thought back to the Star Wars sequels and the running gag about Princess Leia's hair. Or Carrie Fisher's hair, more to the point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's what you say when you've got nothing, when the characters don't have anything left to say to each other.
Well,
it's the equivalent.
Haley Atwell's new, so that she should have more to say to all these people.
To say, although I look at the actors in this movie and I don't think they know what's going on at any given moment in the story or with their characters, so...
Well, I think that has more to do with, like, they get a phone call at 3 a.m. and they're like, "We need you to be in South Africa tomorrow. We're going to be shooting this plane bullshit. Oh, by the way, you'll be in a cave."
Can you come into and say one line and then just sort of look around in a way that doesn't give away what you're thinking or what the scene's about? And we can kind of make a whole movie out of that. Yeah, and I think it's this is the second time I've seen this movie. When we did the ranking episode, I'd only seen it once. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you're wondering what a second viewing has done for my opinion of this movie.
Yeah.
It hasn't done much, to be perfectly honest. It kind of confirmed what I already thought. Full of really successful sequences in this movie.
Yeah.
I still think of it somehow as a lesser film than Dead Reckoning, which I don't think has two outstanding sequences like this movie at all.
Yeah, that I
don't think it has. I don't think, on those set pieces alone, it should be a better movie. But what makes it a lesser movie for me, I think, is this idea of a flatlining of original content. That,
mm-hmm.
in the storyline, in the characterizations, we're at zero, and we've kind of compensating for that with self-importance and dead time. Like, they're determined to make a 3-hour movie out of this, but that's all they've got. They've not actually. There's nothing to add. There's nothing left in the there's nothing to add to the overall story that they're telling at this point.
I think I ranked this higher though.
Yeah, I think you did, and I'm tempted to, because again, there are a couple of just unarguably outstanding
So
action sequences
it has
in
that
this movie.
going for it, and then
Yeah.
on top of that, I think I mentioned this maybe in our Fallout episode, because Fallout and this movie are the two movies where we get to the end and I really say to myself, that really did seem impossible. That mission was quite impossible. I can't believe they pulled it off. And that held sway for me. And again, I mean, we talked about this in the last episode. You're not going to really be wrong about anything that you say about this movie like you said in the last movie. And yet somehow I still find these utterly watchable and entertaining. My experience watching it a second time was not as recent as yours, but I watched it and took notes in a movie theater.
Yeah.
And not unlike the last movie, all the things that I found really grating and bothering me lessened for me a little bit on a second viewing. The one thing this movie has more than anything of the other movies is it's so self-serious. This movie has so much less humor than the other movies, even the last movie, which didn't have a lot.
And it's even worse than that, because it's not just the lack of comedy, it's that when you do have comedy, it's really badly done and badly performed and directed and timed.
Mm.
On this viewing, I think it may have annoyed me more. I found it way more insulting to me as an audience member to think that I'm content just watching them look at each other and then, watch a scene where they all round robin a line,
Mm-hmm.
and no one is ever in the same shot, and then we make up the difference by montages of clips from either earlier
Previous
on in this
movies,
movie
a lot of that.
or previous movies, and I'm like that. I take, in the words of Frank Pentangeli, I take that as an insult to me to think that you can.
Yeah, it's weird. I've listened to both McQuarrie and like the editor of the movie, and listened to them talk about the 97 iterations of this movie that they tried to put together, and that the things that they kept whittling down, and at first it was a 4.5 hour movie, and then they tried to do a 2-hour version and it just didn't work, and all the things they did, and literally looking at it, what they would say so objectively, cutting just 1 or 2 seconds here or there to try and get this movie to a manageable time. And then I listened to some podcast was like, well, you could cut out the first hour. Not a lot happens in that first hour. Just cut the whole first hour out. And I thought, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Anything in the war room can go. That's got to be a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we're already down. It's like everything in the war room, everything to do with the war room, we're already down to 220.
Mm-hmm.
Any advances on 220? I'm sure there's more that I've not thought of. In the scene where Haley Atwell is translating from Inuit, get rid of that. That's what, another 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen,
you could cut out the number of...
It pains me to say I want less husky in this movie. They're one of my favorite dogs.
Right.
But if that's what it takes, you got to. I don't think they're willing to make tough decisions when it comes to editing. If they really think that a 2-hour version of this movie doesn't work,
mm-hmm.
they're honestly they have no perspective.
Love to watch you.
I mean,
talk about this shit. Really cracks me up.
Of the writing mantra of "kill your darlings," right? There must be a
right, yeah.
But clearly not on the editing of this movie. It's like, what if we took out all the takes where Simon Pegg is nearly crying, and not speaking but nearly crying? You lost another 5.
Well, wait till
I've already kind of anecdotally edited this movie down to 2 hours. Right?
Yeah. Well, also, like, I'll save it until we get to the moment, but one of the standout moments in this movie was almost not a standout moment for this movie to hear the people who made the movie talk about it.
Oh. Okay.
I'll keep it for now. But you know what? They also could have cut another hour out of this movie if they just stopped showing flashbacks of William Dunlow and the knife that Ethan Hunt drops in that first Mission Impossible movie. I remember thinking the first time I saw this movie, how many fucking times are you going to show me that goddamn knife? So much so that I started keeping a tally the second time I watched it. Now, I don't know if I have this right because it feels like I inflated the numbers purposefully.
I bet you haven't.
I have 9 times. 9 times I see that fucking knife. And you know what? Show me that knife, but don't show me the flashback of the knife.
Editors should be keeping track of, but are purposefully not keeping track of.
Right.
Because everything they can add it. I don't believe that they were ever trying to reduce the scale of this movie, because there's no content in this movie, so they've got to be editing up.
Edit up, stupid.
It's a dig up stupid situation. They've got, I mean, the idea that they're cutting it down from a longer cut when everything about the movie suggests they're trying to get more out of it, then, because this could be this is like the final hour of another movie.
Yeah.
Augmented to look like a full-length movie. So, but they will tell us that the process was the opposite of that. So I don't know who to believe.
All right. Well, I feel like we're starting to edit our episode into a longer episode by talking about how long this fucking movie was.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this episode to 2 hours 49 minutes.
So let's talk about it. It's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, 2025 movie. We haven't done that in a hot second.
Ripped from the headlines. It's directed by Christopher McQuarrie, once again. Has 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, so not as popular as movies of Christmas past. All right. Also, then Dead Reckoning? What was Dead Reckoning again? I know
Dead Reckoning was 98? No, 90? What was it?
I guess proportionally that fits with what I think, but the idea that this
96 Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, you take off. I would put it. The proportions are right, but I would remove 60% from each of those totals.
Of course you would.
But I'd have the same relationship to each other, probably.
Right.
Yeah, I came dangerously close to saying this has got to be a better film than Dead Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked myself out with it because I realized, no, the self-importance really...
That's the part that really gets me. Yeah, the self-importance part is the part that...
I don't remember Dead Reckoning smelling itself to the same extent as this movie does.
Yeah, I agree.
So that might be the decider. That might be the deal breaker for me.
Okay. This is the most offensive thing about this whole movie, I think.
Careful now! Don't pace yourself. Leave something for later on.
The budget for this movie was $400 million.
Can't even fucking imagine how much this movie cost.
$400 million.
Yeah.
Now, at the time that I watched this movie in the theater, well, the opening...
It cost less.
The
budget was less.
Yeah.
They spent money after the movie came out to inflate the box office?
Well, the only inflation is USA and the world. For the opening weekend, it made $64 million. And let's see. When I first saw it, it was at 191.5. Now it's at 197.4. And in the world, it was at 576.5, and now it's at 597.5. It's creeping up to that $600 million mark.
These are live numbers, yo.
Yeah.
This is like Nate Silver right here. I mean, it's done quite well as the headline I've heard, that so much so they're willing to keep it in theaters as long as they possibly could, and then slowly release it onto digital with only a purchase option, and then they're going to do a rental option, and then it'll probably be a while before it goes on free streaming. So they kind of did the opposite with Dead Reckoning, where it was just like, get it out of cinemas and on Prime as quickly as possible. Let's see if we can salvage this mess. Well, and it's obviously not the case here, because you can still go and see. You can probably still go and see it at your local AMC.
Yeah, most likely. Well, at least the ones with 18 showing. Theaters or 20 theaters. Yeah.
You could get like one 10 o'clock showing or something like that, which it's been out for what, 3 months or something?
Mm-hmm.
2 months, 3 months. That's pretty remarkable.
Since May.
In today's,
yeah.
In today's
market, that's
cinema comedy. That's a success.
Absolutely, and it's gonna make a little bit more money, like you said, on the streaming. And it's funny, well, you know this because we keep talking. I keep bending your ear about it every time I go onto the Apple store and they're selling all these movies for $5. I'm like, gimme. Yeah,
it's wise. It's wise to have a copy of it rather than relying on streaming to provide it.
True. But when I see a cheap movie streaming for $5, I think, yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
But
I think
the Mission movies were all like vastly overpriced. You could get the original recipe through Fallout for $70 or $75. And finally the other day, those 6 movies were $20. And I said, all right, fucking A, I'll do it. But then they had a package of Dead Reckoning Part 1 and The Final Reckoning, and I think that was just $35 for the 2 of them. I'm like, well, I'll wait on those 2.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I spent $20 is what I paid to watch this again.
Ooh, sorry.
It's the only one I currently own. in a sad irony.
Twist of fate.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's great.
No, I mean, yeah, I guess value for money in terms of running time, and no other value. No, I mean, like I say, there are things I like. That there are whole sequences in this movie.
That's the thing. This movie is weird.
Technically, it's not a bad movie. Artistically, it's not even a movie.
It's so funny. This movie's very Jekyll and Hyde because it has so much going for it that could make it a good movie.
Yes.
Did I call it good?
It was good apart from 2.
Did I?
Well, there's an easy way to find out.
I don't want to listen to them yet.
You don't want to listen back to the episodes?
It's just too much trouble for...
Well,
I don't want to be prove myself wrong. Yeah, I feel like the more I'm going to talk about this movie, the more I would feel duty bound to call it bad. But I still, it's a weird thing, these last 2 movies, where I know they're just not as good a movies as, say, the previous 3 movies are.
Sure.
But I still find them utterly watchable.
A little bit of a spark there. To me, the spark is completely gone here. It's like it's unfortunate that so much of this movie is just looking at people's eyes, because there's not much life behind any of them. Like, if it was a movie, if you were going to pick a movie that was mostly shots of people's eyes, I would have wanted to have been an earlier movie when everyone was interested in what they were doing, rather than not interested and or crying.
Right.
There is not a shot of this movie, I think, where Simon Pegg isn't crying.
Well, you might be mistaking some of those, maybe some of his sweat for tears as well.
Yeah, crying or dying. Okay, I'll give you that. He's
Yeah.
either crying or dying in this movie. He certainly ain't making no jokes, which is kind of his job.
Yeah, right.
And he ain't doing his job, and no one wanted him to do his job.
This movie, that's the thing. This movie just didn't have time for jokes, and that self-importance thing was just too at the forefront.
Yeah. You know, like, Simon Pegg has had to spend so many years defending being in Tom Cruise movies from, you know, cynical British people like me who know he's a cult leader and that we shouldn't, you know, and that talented British people shouldn't be, you know, losing their credibility over this this monster who isn't even really making good movies anymore. He feels like one of those entity cult members now. Like he's drunk the Kool-Aid and he's just speaking whatever kind of cultish garbage this movie has given him to say about the IMF and its importance to world politics.
Maybe it's enough just because he gets the cruise cake, I imagine. That coconut cake that Tom Cruise sends to everybody.
I do, yeah, I know. That can't be. Well, what's in that cake? Has anyone done a chemical analysis of that cake? Is it full of chemicals that reduce your resistance to
Scientology
power? Yeah, your resistance to suggestion.
All right, we're 22 minutes in. Let's get to this movie. God damn it!
We're not even out of the cold open of this movie yet.
No, I know. I wrote down. This is the holy shit fast Paramount and Sundance logo.
Once again, and also this starting with this jungle drum music over the credits makes it sound like it's going to be a more upbeat 60s faithful movie than it's going to be. I realize upon second viewing, I think the music is really misleading. You know, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. You don't want to go, or Congo. You don't want to go into that to whispering a recap for a good 10 minutes.
I just rewatched Congo recently. My first thoughts were correct. Not good.
No, it's not good. But you know what I mean? Like, that kind of a movie is being sold to you, and then it's Tom Cruise whispering while we look at a box.
Yeah, I put the entity coffin.
The entity coffin, or Clippy's coffin, as I started calling it.
Yeah.
The entity's basically Clippy.
Yeah.
Clippy gone awry.
Run amok.
Clippy gone rogue. That's a movie. Fucking Microsoft license that, please.
Clippy gone rogue.
Bill Gates, you thought you had money now? Wait till we're done. Clippy's gone rogue.
The fucking eyes, they go just from happy and willing to help to like peering and small and angry.
It looks like you're writing a letter. I insist you're writing a letter. So whispered at the beginning, I'm like, guys, this is your recap. We need to hear what you're saying. We need it to be at the very least audible.
Yeah, but they don't care because I wrote down they do a stunt and magic recap. That's what they're recapping.
Yeah. And then they stop recapping, and then they're just kind of brainstorming different things you could call the entity, different names you could call the entity for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I don't want to hear the what happened in the writers' room when they were coming up with analogies for what the entity is. Yeah, I'm not learning, and it's like I think
they talk
I'm supposed
about
to be
this,
learning something about what happened in the last movie, but all I'm finding out is there's a. I'm getting from this sequence.
Yeah, right.
I'm not finding out like it's not even doing the job of a recap, which arguably you never need, at least not in this fashion. But you know, they're kind of giving it to us in a way that is sort of not refreshing our memories about anything other than, oh, there's a lot of different names you could give to the entity.
Well, not just that, because they're also trying to add new shit that will bear very little importance to the story when they're talking about these fanatics that are serving the entity's purposes. I mean, other than the war room where, you know, a few people try to kill the president. This
on the submarine too.
Yeah. But it's like,
yeah,
you could just assume that there's a fucking weirdo within our government at all levels, submarines and war rooms.
You don't even need to assume that anymore. You could just read the news.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. That's gone. What are we at now? 150?
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
You and I are going to whittle this down to a fucking half-hour episode of television.
And there's a literal blink of an eye recap here.
Yeah.
Where in the blink of an eye you see the entirety of the last movie. And I'm like, okay, you know, like, I like brevity like that. But then we spend a lot of time looking at how sad Tom Cruise's eyes look. That's how, and I'm like, I could have lost, because give me more recap, less of this. I mean, I think I mentioned this in the ranking episode that this was kind of I thought a nice touch to have him getting the mission briefing through pre-internet technology.
The tape
and that
from
the
President Bassett.
Combo, yeah, the combo TV video player. They have to use they have to use technology that
the entity can't fuck around with.
It's also kind of the big, you know, there's lots of kind of full circle moments in this movie, and this is
I'll say.
Because... but this is the technology that in '96 was cutting edge, right? And I remember I had one of these like in my room.
Sure.
And I thought it was the shit. I still do. But I won't admit to it. I won't admit to it as readily as I would then. That I still think it was the height of recording and screening technology.
Sure.
And the kind of returning legacy characters, I like the idea of returning legacy technology to show how far we've come. Real to Mission Impossible.
Yes, right.
And it's sort of like what, and it's interesting, like, what are they saying the series is through this choice of a clip montage? And I was like, I'm getting two recurring themes: masks and revolving doors of women. Like, these are the, and I'm like, yes, that is kind of what the series is, right? If you boil it down to it, you know, but you did better. Like, you did better, guys. You achieved more than this.
Yeah, right.
Celebrate it. If you're going to take a moment to let us all know how great the series once was.
Well, because I wrote down,
You go, it's not like that now, but it's always a risk. But if you're going to do that, it's like, well, show me some of the great stuff that Brad Bird did and early Christopher McQuarrie and, you know, anyway.
I wrote down they flash back to all films, and then I just thought it was very funny when, at some point, I think it's Angela Bassett says something about your team. And I think about all the different iterations of his team.
Yeah.
The first of which got killed in the first fucking movie, and then on and on and on, this revolving door of women you were talking about.
Yeah.
And they make it sound as though Ethan Hunt will not let a single member of his team down or die. And that's not true.
It could equally be a montage to establish that Ethan Hunt is history's greatest serial killer.
Yeah, right.
Without any editing, you could make the same point. Previous episode that they never go back to. They go back to the image of Gabriel shooting this mystery box woman in the alleyway.
And I think I talked about that maybe in the ranking
Yeah.
episode where they just made the decision, yeah, we don't need to explain that. The audience doesn't need it.
Right.
And you and I think, both said they're right,
but they go back to it.
but it's obviously the fact that you don't need to go back to it means you didn't need it at all.
Yeah.
And it took you down this ridiculous storyline of Ethan was that they all were criminals and Ethan was a wrongly accused criminal. And then they all have to take the oath. All that bullshit is born out of that.
Oh, yeah. We're doing such a good job editing this movie. We've also got suggested edits for Dead Reckoning as well.
I know.
Not going to do anything with this in the way of explanation, that they just kind of re-show it. And I think in Dead Reckoning it was shown in black and white, and now it's shown in color with...
I thought it was in color then too. Maybe once in black and white and once in color. I forget.
And then old school 80s school portraits, where it's like the person it's like the transition between the person looking ahead and then looking off to the side.
Yeah, right.
We do that with Gabriel. I'm thinking, it's like, yeah, get it, just lose it. If you're not gonna explain who Mystery Box Woman is, then just fucking lose it. President Bassett's speech is a very strange speech. It takes a lot of different twists and turns. The best one being, I think, though you never followed orders,
yeah,
you never let us down. I'm like, well, that's a paradox.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like the two things cannot coexist.
Right.
But it led to the question, and we were starting to talk about this on the last episode.
Well, it makes him sound like the benevolent dictator, like, even though he's not in charge, you know what I mean? It's like, you're always going to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But it turns out you're always right.
Force the question, was he going rogue when he got married? Was that him not following orders? Because in this kind of retcon version of the IMF all being reformed criminals,
yeah,
he would have to be like, look, I'm breaking my oath to take a different oath.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I don't think this was their attempt to rationalize that, because
oh, hell no.
I think either
yeah,
that they don't care at this point. They have no desire to explain plot holes at this point.
No.
Rationalize it in your head that's an example of him going rogue by going off and retiring and getting married.
Yes, right, exactly.
Despite how some of the bizarre turns this sequence takes, this first set piece of the cold open, as retconning as it was and as gratuitous as it is, into the mission briefing. Like, if you're gonna do it, get a couple or three mission briefings scenes. And I would have preferred this to be the only one.
If there are more, then yes, this should have been the only one.
But isn't this all done in person by Angela Bassett later in the movie as well?
When he first gets to the war room?
Yeah. Same scene?
Maybe a briefer version. You might be right, yeah.
There's still remnants of the formula that we know and love here.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, they've come so far from the original imprint, they'd be, basically justified removing the mission briefing altogether. I mean,
sure,
we're in La La Land at this point. It's got nothing to do with Mission Impossible anymore. So I like that someone is still there going, well, we should turn this into the mission briefing scene, and then we self-destruct in 5 seconds and we see the video cassette. Which is, I think, a direct reference to the original Mission Impossible, because his...
when he closes, yeah.
Entertainment.
He's willing to say one thing is good. Doesn't he meet Benji and go underground to meet Sick Luther now?
Yeah. So it's very Children of Men out there in London. That's my next note. And I did like that. I like Christopher McQuarrie takes a lot of his visual language from Alfonso Cuarón, and all the stuff he did in Fallout with Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It looks, London, London done as a police state is a very effective dystopian visual.
Very V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta, exactly. Yeah, it's So, any of this?
No, yeah, right.
Such a bummer.
Even like the next scene, because they get their, like the mask work they do is so quick, and just to stop Paris from killing a bunch of guards.
Oh yeah,
you got to rip that mask off and say, wait, quick, and then we're done with masks. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah,
they're getting all the formula out in the first couple of scenes,
right?
So we don't have to think about it for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, we got other shit to do.
It's so melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I happen to have seen the closing shows of of runs of different thing happens, like that. The actors kind of put it all out there for the final performance, and then they come out for the curtain call in floods of tears.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just physically, emotionally drained and sad. But the tone of it's like that, but they, that doesn't compromise their performance. They do it the same as they always do. But it feels like they're already in the curtain call here, and they're tearing up, and they're emotional about each other. I'm like, guys, you still got to do the movie before,
right? Before we get to that.
Yeah. The time to do that. We got 3 hours. You can't start here. We've still got 3 hours. We've still got 3 hours of a movie to do.
There's also something related to your quotable, where the whole beginning of this movie feels a bit off because we left Ethan in the last movie jumping off the Orient Express with his little parachute, and
sounds much better than when you just described it. Then that's much better than the movie I saw.
But
jumping off the Orient Express, that's great.
Like when he and Grace he's being held up by some agents who see that it's Ethan Hunt and they got to arrest him, and then I think she does some magic shit where she bumps them, steals a gun or steals keys or whatever, and that's the moment.
All of the above.
Yeah, when she says, "I like the hair." And it's like, this movie feels as though it should be happening 2 weeks after the events of the last movie. But with the Angela Bassett videotape saying, "We know that you've been underground for quite some time." It's like we just had enough time to have Ethan grow his hair out, and we have to explain that because the movie couldn't get made quick enough for the events to catch up to where they should have been catching up in the past. Mm-hmm. And all of that feels a little off, just a little off about this movie, where it should have been happening much sooner or closer to the final events of the last movie, and this is happening much later.
And the previous movies just don't have. I don't know what. I think their problem is making an issue out of it. Like the previous movies don't have that problem, and these kind, these kind of espionage franchise movies don't have this problem. It's like we pick up wherever we pick up. It's the beginning of the next adventure. Sure. I guess this is the problem of being a multi. I guess because this is the first official multi-part Mission Impossible, that they feel they have to account for that, but you actually don't have to treat it any differently from the way that you did with Fallout.
I was gonna say, the difference between
Rogue Nation
and Fallout.
Yeah,
that's a two-parter.
So making too much of an issue out of it, but it adds a few minutes, and they need this for whatever reason. They need this to be at least a 2-hour, 50-minute movie.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I mean, like, 2 hour 45, you could, which is I think, or 2:46 is like No Time to Die. You know that it still feels like less than 3 hours. 2:50 doesn't feel like less than 3 hours. That feels like a full 3 hours.
At 4 minutes.
Yeah, and the credits to this movie once we get there are relatively short. Much shorter than a big franchise movie
Normally would be.
I was looking, I was going, wow, it's like they got the credits in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Movies don't do that anymore. And yet that means this movie is even longer than you think it is. Because once it gets to like 2:30, you're like, oh, well, you know, a good 15 minutes of this are going to be credits. So basically the movie's over. And you're like, oh, no, it's going right up to like 2:41, 2:42.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, they wake up. What do they get? Drugged? They both get drugged somehow. They wake up caught.
Well, you quite rightly skipped over the kidnapping of Paris scene.
Well, we talked about a little bit. I talked about they're ripping off the masks.
But this is, you know, there are shots in here which you get a lot of in this movie, where Shea Wiggum and Greg Tarzan Davis is going to be in the final version.
Right.
And there's a lot of that in this movie. We talked in the last episode about second guessing the entity being the main form of storytelling, and is that like a new kind of AI informed storytelling? But it's like here it's kind of turned into predictive text version of storytelling. Like, you know, you kind of, all the stuff about the people are doing things just because the entity predicted that they would do them.
Yeah, right.
So that's why they do it. Like, that's their motivation now, is because, oh, this has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, oh, well, you know, a predictive text sent this and it's already sent. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, I have to send a follow-up text with an asterisk saying what it really was, or, you know. So anyway, I thought it was just, I understand that you got to adapt your storytelling when you're dealing with a movie about AI, but it's still not very satisfying storytelling in the way that I think of it.
That you think of storytelling.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, it might work in a time travel movie, right? Where you're like, okay, certain things have to happen, so, you know, we're bound by that. I'm doing this because I know this is how it ends up. I know the cause and effect of this, so I'm only doing this, you know, like Bill and Ted.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm telling myself to do this because I know this happens. That works in a time travel movie. And so this effectively is a time travel movie now. Because they're sort of saying, like, we know there's an end point where such and such is going to happen. So we have to get to that point. We already know what's going to happen in the story.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing, right? Because Ethan's going to get into the entity coffin fairly soon.
Not immediately, but fairly
soon. And we're going to see everything he's going to do. We're going to see the fucking ice caps, and we're going to see Africa, and
yeah.
The entity is going to show us our story. The entity could have ended this movie quickly.
It could have done. And you know, it's predictive AI is a thing as well, isn't it? So
yeah, sure.
Essentially, they show us what predictive AI would do with this movie, which they probably. I mean, you could write that scene by asking AI what happens in the last Mission Impossible movie, and then you show it on screen. I wonder if they did that.
All right, I feel like we should take our first break, but I'm very nervous because I have so many notes, and we've barely made a dent.
That's okay.
Will it go faster? Tell me it'll go faster. I don't want this episode to be longer than the movie.
No, hopefully it'll go faster. I will say that I broke this was, I had 1 page more of notes than I had for all the other movies, which, judging by my previous comments, suggests that this movie actually has more content.
No, we know that's
but
not
it really
true.
does not. So it must all be notes about problems and lack of content.
Your happy place.
I like to think I know something about beer, but nowadays even I get overwhelmed when confronted by the exhaustive selection of craft beers they have at bars, breweries, and even grocery stores. Back in the day you had 1, maybe 2 craft beers to choose from, and if you were confused, you ordered a Guinness. But in beerstinations like San Diego, the craft beer options lately are in double, sometimes even triple digits. So what's a beer drinker to do? You need what I need, the Vegas Beer Guys. Your beer of choice should be a perfect blend of malt and hops. And so a live show about beer needs that same balance. And the Vegas Beer Guys matches beer expert Dan Aker with self-proclaimed beer novice Stephen J. Weiss. The results are eminently drinkable. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They'll try new beers, they'll tell you about beer. Think of them as your beer Sherpas guiding you up a foamy-headed mountain to reach the peak of your pint. God, I need a beer.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Tom and I are here, trying to keep this episode under the running time of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Good luck.
And ideally, we would have wanted to go out on our first segment having covered the cold open, but it's just not possible.
No.
That's not on us. That's not on us. We're at the 3rd set piece of the cold open right now.
Yeah.
We're about to discuss the 3rd of, I would say, I mean, the final. There are 2 final set pieces that are sort of interrelated, but they're also separate set pieces. So I count this 3 of 4.
Agreed. And so, well, go ahead.
You had a point to make.
No, I was just gonna say, this kind of really bothered me the first time I saw it, because we're opening up J.J. Abrams' mystery box.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
And we're trying to redefine the rabbit's foot. And Gabriel's making an appearance, and Tom Cruise is pissed that they took his watch and his cufflinks because that's his escape shit. But this also feels very Ghost Protocol because it feels almost akin to that other, with Ilsa.
It's like a kind of, the party scene is kind of a writing over of better similar set pieces from earlier in the series,
right.
I think. And nothing, you said it really well. Something feels off, and part of that is the timeline problem,
Mm-hmm.
and the accounting for this being a multi-part movie. And then there's just some stuff that, I'm loath to point out that the timing of the line about timing is badly timed because Cruise doesn't say it fast enough. I'm sorry, it's just he needs to jump on the cue quicker. I'm sorry, I know he's as we've established in previous episodes, his brain is pretty oxygen deprived by now, and it's having some unintended consequences. But that whole couplet doesn't work unless he immediately hits timing as soon as Haley Atwell stops speaking, and there's a good beat before he says timing.
Great, that's fantastic.
Literally the length, they spend the rest of the movie going, the blink of an eye,
Mm-hmm.
and they give that a time. Tom Cruise takes twice that amount of time to start the line timing. I made a typo that feels like a Freudian slip, because I mentioned that they open JJ's mystery box, but they have to do some retconning in order to open it. But I didn't write the word retconning, I wrote rectconning by accident. And I think rectconning is what we're talking about here. Retconning that comes straight from the rectum.
That's great.
Straight out of the rectum. Well, this is I really don't want.
I got that joke.
You understood that reference.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to say this because I
Sure you do.
no, because I think I like that you, for whatever reason, quite like this movie. And I'm going to make a comparison that I feel might...
Hurt my feelings?
Yeah. Will hurt your feelings, but also damage your estimation of the movie when you start to think about it
I told you early on, you're not going to be wrong about anything you say about this movie.
What, like, the second time... I didn't get this the first time I watched it, and then the second time I watched it, the way that the clips and the montages were kind of coming thick and fast in these early scenes, I went, this feels like...
That was the thing that bothered me the most about this movie, was all of that shit.
I was like, well, this feels familiar. Maybe something we've done on the podcast recently. And I figured out trailer The Pink Panther.
Oh.
All the clip, the clip montages. And
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Cruise isn't dead.
I was going to say it's a little different because...
I do think he's brain dead, but, that's my personal opinion.
The star is still in the film.
Doesn't feel like it, though. It feels like you would do exactly the same if you had to compensate for him not being there.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, anyway, I hope that didn't hurt your feelings too much.
No, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I'll work through it.
It's not a good look. Trailer of the Pink Panther is not a good look for the last movie in a series, but...
Agreed. There was a moment, too, where Tom Cruise is saying that the entity has forsaken Gabriel.
Right.
Did you catch, I thought there was a moment of really bad ADR from Gabriel, where literally he's like...
Oh, yeah.
Mouth moving, but...
Instance, though, I get the sense that they had to ADR quite a lot of this because they probably wrote something different and then had to rewrite it.
Yeah, true.
Or could it have been that people or test audiences or the people editing the movie thought audiences wouldn't understand that he turned against the entity?
Yeah.
And I mean, my immediate response to that is, why would they? I mean, it's like, in one movie he's working with it, then he's working against it because he lost a key. I mean, that's it, right?
Well, that AI, that entity is pretty unforgiving.
But now it wants Ethan.
Yeah.
I don't think that's... I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's not complicated.
No, yeah, not at all.
At least to me. That's the thing. It's like the movie wants to convince you that everything that's stupid in the movie is like serious and complicated.
Yeah.
And I think this is another one of these moments. All that's happened is the two villains have turned against each other because he lost a key. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm laughing because it does not bode well for this film that we're almost an hour into our discussion, and I look down my notes a little ways, and we have that joke from Tom Cruise where he kills a bunch of people, but we just watch Grace watch him kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then I skipped a couple, to my next note, and the next note was... Oh, we're finally at the credits of this movie. And that's so deep into a movie to be finally getting to the credits, you know?
It's so egregious.
Terrible.
It's so egregious. Like in the latter part of the cold open, they start putting in footage from the cold open of the last movie. Like we get some clips of the summary.
Right.
I'm like, your cold open is long enough without adding the overlong cold open to your previous movie.
Finally at the credits for this movie.
Yeah.
Don't show me anything from the last movie.
The opening the JJ mystery box, and it also occurred to me that they're making the same mistakes that Spectre, the movie Spectre, did, trying to kind of wedge in.
Is it yellow?
Well, the bottle is yellow, I suppose.
That's true.
Yeah, the lighting technician for Spectre just did that one bottle.
That one thing.
Yeah. But they're trying to wedge in links between movies that don't exist.
Hmm.
because they think it makes them look clever, and it does the opposite. It makes them look like idiots. So Blofeld was not controlling it, all the events from Casino Royale onwards, just as
Yeah.
the mystery box was never anything to do with AI that
Yeah.
hadn't a kind of technology that hadn't even been contemplated when Mission Impossible 3 came out.
Well, so that's the thing about this movie is that they keep trying to do full circle moments, one of which I think works, but the rabbit's foot is not a full circle moment. That's a half circle moment.
Yeah, that's it.
Because you're already at Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah, it's completely. Stole this from Dune, but I think it's good espionage. The cyanide tooth,
Yeah,
the poison tooth.
that is, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, obviously, I think they're probably Tom Cruise is in his oxygen deprived brain is probably like, I just saw Dune. It had a tooth with poison in. I think it's a kind of known tactic.
Plus, it's a gambit. That's
Yeah.
also like the Pink Panther. It's the tooth gambit.
But at that point, I was like, God, this has the bones of a really good sequence. If you took out all the flashback and you made it less dialogue centered, this could be a really good.
Yeah, exactly. Just get to it.
It could be a really good interrogation scene. Sequences were sped up, like undercranked 60s Bond movies. And I'm like, what's the impotence for that? It's obviously not running time, right? They're content to let that run out of control.
Sure.
Like, is he slowing down physically? I mean, it doesn't look like it in the rest of the movie.
True.
But when he's attacking the guy, it's like Benny Hill.
Well, and he doesn't have that problem later, like the fight on the submarine.
Yeah.
That all looks at normal speed, and he looks great doing it. So what's the deal?
I don't know. It's not just the lack of comedy that's the problem. It's when they do comedy, they fluff it. And I think this is such a fluffed comedic moment. There's the bones of a good joke here.
Yeah.
That she's not used to this level of violence.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that the joke misses the mark because
It goes on too long.
really it seems like this, it goes on for too long, and character-wise it seems like the sort of thing that would give her misgivings about the team she has joined.
That he's a reformed criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, they're not assassins, right? They're not like going around the world killing people like James Bond.
Right, yeah.
So this level of violence is unusual even for him, unless you're like, he's a criminal, but she's a criminal too. So shouldn't she be more au fait with this, seeing this kind of street level violence?
Yeah, she's more of a confidence person, though, and a pickpocket. So I think she likes to stay in the shadows as opposed to hurting people.
I don't get the sense that Hunt ever purposefully kills anyone.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people die by his hands, but you don't ever see him killing people. This is the first time he's ever killed anyone. Oh, please tell me this is not the first time he's ever killed anyone.
It's interesting.
Oh, God. Now is not the time to start doing it.
Yeah, no, we don't have the time.
So, but yeah, we're at the titles, finally.
Oh.
It's actually, I think Dead Reckoning, the cold open is longer.
Really?
Like,
How long did I say it was? 28 minutes in that one?
it's under 28 minutes.
Oh my God.
You're singing to the choir. If anyone wants to argue that Tom Cruise hasn't lost grip on his sanity and ego, it's really hard to argue against this when the titles begin with a Tom Cruise production, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Really hard. that he's become a.
And I think I mentioned this maybe in the ranking episode. Yeah, like his celebrity tour of promoting this movie was fully and completely just an ego trip of him saying, I have spent all these hours doing this, doing that. I know exactly how these biplanes work because I'm an expert pilot, that I do this and that. I've worked on holding my breath for 497 minutes, and I can do it better than anybody else in the world. And like on and on and on to the point where I just... Like, I'm sure there are some people in the world that want to like you, but you're making it difficult.
An unfair comparison, but, you know, I think if Tom Cruise was a retired firefighter and helped out in 9/11, I think we would have heard about it. Unlike Steve Buscemi, who never said anything about it.
Yeah, right.
And it was found out later.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd be turning up at premieres with a fire hose. Even now.
This is the hose I used on 9/11.
Not to create 9/11. Just to clarify that. I'm not responsible.
No, to help respond to it. You know, like a hero.
And, you know, we made the Too Many Cooks comparison in the last episode for Dead. I mean, this is even more Too Many Cooks. This is even more.
Too many cruises in the kitchen?
Even more. Well, no, I just mean like the number of actors. Like, you know, what counts as a kind of
a feature player?
Exactly. Yeah. There's no.
Yeah.
With respect, some of these names are not big enough to grace the titles. I mean, I know that's a very old Hollywood way of looking at it. But
yeah.
There are stars and then there is a supporting cast, and there's no sense of that here. And also, you mentioned this right up top when we had the first of these, and I think Ghost Protocol, where you saw the events that happen in the rest of the movie. I mean, we've already seen that via AI.
We already seen it once in this movie.
Which is to give away twists and turns in the movie. We should not be seeing Dunlow in these titles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's supposed to be a nice surprise for the audience.
And it was, but not now.
Change that much. I don't know what they do. Him and fucking Henry Czerny have been sitting in a fucking stasis chamber since the first Mission Impossible, because they look at I don't like, if you add 30 years to my life, I would not be doing so well as these guys are. Like, he even looks better. Like, he looks slimmer, better facial hair, like, everything.
Looks great with the beard. Yeah. I've alluded to it, but that was
as well.
Yeah, don't give away the surprises, but that surprise as a concept and an idea was the one I really liked. The idea that they had to go to this remote place, and that's the place that Kittredge sent him.
Yeah.
That's a full circle moment that I really liked.
Leaves something to be desired.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Also, yeah, I mean, I think why not keep this try and keep this like a secret?
Absolutely.
Because I knew about I knew about it, having not seen the movie. Like, it was
going into it, yeah.
Going into it, right? I mean, the cast announcements, all that sort of stuff. It's like, look who's clickbait articles like this. Which legacy character's going to return to the final one? So,
I think maybe I talked to you about this off air, but the new movie that's out, Weapons.
No, I haven't. We haven't talked about that. I haven't seen it.
We haven't talked about it at all? Oh, Weapons does some things with the way they promoted that movie that actually fills me with pride.
Oh, great.
Like, it's a movie that gets it.
Oh.
They leave one really important story point completely out of their previews and all the commercials. And then there's an actor in it that you would know, but that we haven't seen for a while, and gives a turn in this movie that is like chef's kiss beautiful.
Wow.
It's fucking amazing performance. So good. And they kept that from us too. And so walking in and then seeing that person and me going, hey, I know who that is. and just watching this delicious performance, that's how you do it.
If you're gonna go that far, then you have to do that. So
Yeah.
Turn of the glass box routine. It looks like they're about to encase Gabriel in a glass box, and then they just give up on the whole idea.
Yeah, it was more like, I think it was Gabriel's glass box, and he put his hand on it accidentally, and like you see him kind of regret, like he goes, fuck, and then he keeps running.
What was that all about?
But it's like he realized he just opened up that box for them.
Okay.
And that, I guess, because that's where the entity is, right? The entity coffin.
Why not call that back? Why not have him like fucking? I'd see another glass box. But the third time we saw it, that would be fine.
But that's when Ethan gets into the entity coffin and he shows him the doomsday room and all that shit.
I wrote Ethan Entity Vampire. Which is what that's the symbolism we're working with, right? I mean, he's like, he's the bride of the entity. You know, the entity is Dracula, and he's the bride of Dracula. It really sucks that just as Ethan is getting into Clippy's coffin, Bruce Geller's credit, the original creator credit, comes up, because I was like, the moment we've gone so far from his formula, his name pops up on screen, and I'm just like, could you not just? I have a question for you.
Okay.
Speaking of uncredited cameos, I suppose, which you're talking about with weapons, who's doing the voice of the AI? It sounded a lot like Adam Driver.
Really?
Who's not credited, but I kind of feel like, unlike Tom Cruise, I think Adam Driver would be fine doing like doing an uncredited voice on a Mission Impossible movie.
Sure, but it's not in the credit check.
No, I mean it would be totally uncredited because no one's talked about it. But I was just like, unless it's like, they just stole Adam,
just an AI, right.
And Adam Driver's like, what the fuck? He's like, is that my voice? But those intonations sounded very, very Adam Driver.
Well, now I got to go back and watch it again.
Once again, knocking the nail in the coffin of a film series. You spoke to this with the knife, but we reuse a lot of the same clips again and again. Once he gets back in this coffin, we see clips both from earlier on in this movie, but also clips that we've seen earlier in this movie from previous movies.
Yeah, right.
So it seems like they just show what they want to show when they're talking about it on screen, and it doesn't matter how many times they reuse the same clip.
Yeah, they do not care.
Yeah, which I thought that there's kind of unwritten rules about, isn't there? Like, you don't keep going back, like, it's like using the same adjective. You know, when you get to the next sentence, even though you want to use the same one again, got to think of a different one.
Sure.
And there's got to be some unwritten rule with clip shows of the same. Like, you can't just re-show the same clip on a loop.
Yeah. Unless
you're insane.
I do that when I'm loading up our episodes. I don't put or talk about what happens in this movie, in this movie, in this movie. I say in this movie, this film, this sequel. I try and switch the words.
Right, exactly, up. Yeah. At least they say the name of the movie in this one. Twice. This is the first time.
Yeah.
Gabriel says is it here Gabriel says Final Reckoning, or does Clippy say it?
I think maybe Clippy.
Clippy says the Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
But I guess he was anticipating that Gabriel would say it later on in the movie because he knows everything. He knows what's going to happen. It's a little bit, speaking to the dystopian of it all, it's a little bit Clockwork Orange, I think, the way that Tom Cruise is being subjected to watch all these clips of missiles launching.
Very much so. I thought of that. Yeah.
So that kind of speaks well of it. It does. Also, on the other side of the coin, it's also very Superman 4 Quest for Peace. But you can't have it both ways.
And then Luther dies.
Yeah, Luther dies from his mystery illness that plays no part in the plot.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think they're preying on every criticism against them sounding curmudgeonly, because my instant reaction to seeing Luther with a tube up his nose, dying, when it finds out that he's going to die anyway, I'm like, well, he's going to be dead soon anyway, right? I mean, this is not news. It's sort of like, pick a character who has something to lose.
To actually lose, yeah.
But someone like Tom Cruise would easily be able to turn that around to, you're heartless, you don't care about these characters the way that we care about these characters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just know that would be the counter argument, and I know that they know that too, and that's why they put it in the fucking movie, because you can't.
It's like they want to soften the blow for us.
Yeah. It's basically like people aren't gonna like this character, let's put him in a wheelchair. Which is what they
You're
did.
realizing what you were saying.
I know, but that's their logic, not mine. I wouldn't do that.
I know.
But you said this might be because Ving Rhames himself is ill.
Yeah, I don't know. I was listening to a Mission Impossible podcast, and they kept talking about that quite a bit, that his health was failing, and
well, he's still alive, isn't
and
he?
he actually yeah. I keep forgetting to look up whether or not he's
dead.
Well, no, if he's got other stuff to do, if he's got upcoming movies.
But it's not like I kind of understand that if you had to explain why your action hero wasn't doing more stuff.
Right.
But Luther is always...
He's got at least one upcoming movie, so...
Luther is just sitting there, like, soldering wires.
He looks visibly heavier, though, to me.
Well, but it's a sit-down role, really, isn't it? So...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So what difference does it matter that he needs to leave his chair to go to the bed?
Mm-hmm.
It's baffling to me, except it's like, Tom Cruise kind of like hands off. We know this scene is ridiculously sentimental.
Yeah.
So, hands off. We're going to do everything we can to make it critic-proof.
Even Luther says, "You were always on the right side, brother." It's like, every time you fucking went rogue, right decision.
That's the theme in the movie, isn't it? Like, it's people, and how much is this Ethan and how much is this Tom Cruise? It's like, everyone has to say, everyone that Ethan Hunt has wronged, who somehow hasn't got caught in his serial killing maze over the past 30 years, has to tell him at some point in the movie, no, you did the right thing, even when it was clearly the wrong choice that you made. You did the right thing. Even when it was the wrong choice, it still turned out well.
It'll turn out to be the right choice.
Such fucking Scientology
they wrap up...
thinking. Such fucking Scientology
Oh,
thinking.
You're right. And they wrap up that fucking stupid oath in it, too, because I think they both say, "For those we never meet," right?
Yeah. And
it's like, that's why we do all of this.
I'll to be fair to the scene, I like how it starts, because it's really understated when Tom Cruise rushes in.
Yeah.
And they try to play it off. And I like that because, again, I think that is what two people in this situation is. They don't talk about their emotions.
Yeah.
But, it's like their emotional connection is understood. That's what original Recipe Mission Impossible was like, right? You understood the emotional connections between people without ever having to write it into dialogue. The actors were good enough that they could suggest it without showing it.
Yeah, they also shouldn't have had Luther say, once you put the poison pill in this thing.
In the Pavlova, what's the thing called? It's something like
Podkova.
What? Why is it
The
called?
Podkova.
Why is it called the pod? That's because it's Russian.
Yeah.
Okay. What does it mean? That mean in Russian? Pop Tart.
What'd you put the poison pill in the Pop-Tart? But they shouldn't have let the cat out of the bag. Luther shouldn't say, once you put the poison pill in, I've got a message for you.
They shouldn't, but I'd completely forgotten that he said that by the time we got there, because it was like nearly 2.5
So it's 4 hours
Yeah.
later.
So it didn't really matter. But you're right, yeah. It would have been a nicer, again, it would have been a nicer surprise.
Yeah. I put down, they also, like, there's this moment where Luther says we're both on the right side of this gate.
Yeah.
And then I think they flash back to Gabriel from like 2 minutes ago in the movie.
Yeah. Yes.
So great.
Yeah, the last thing you need is to remind you what happened 2 minutes ago.
Fucking hilarious. Well, Ethan runs away from a massive bomb blast, and then he gets arrested all dusty.
Yeah, by Jim Phelps Jr. It turns out.
That, as it turns out, yeah, I was gonna say.
So I came up with it. I seem to be trying to redefine the word retconning, but this was actually deliberate. This wasn't a typo. This was deliberate. I was trying to think. It's like making him Jim Phelps' son is retconning, but it's more than that. And like, what's the more? And so I came up with the term relevance conning. So the idea is
Yes,
it's like
absolutely. Making a character relevant.
you've become aware that your character that you have a needless character, so you have to
Yeah.
retcon something from the past, from
Something useful.
something
Yeah.
from the mythology to make it seem like they still count. So this is it. This is the relevance conning. I'm sure now that I've coined the term, we'll see it. We'll see a lot of it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It's funny you brought that up, because that was my biggest problem with these last two movies. The IMF and Mission Impossible, it's like the way we knew it, it's enough just as it was. And then these two movies,
More than enough.
they wanna make the IMF relevant in a way that to kind of shadow cast its own mythology
Completely. That's a great way
to
of putting
continue its own mythology
it. Shadowcast,
in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very strange the way they, it was enough as it was.
I don't want to push the Scientology analogy too far, but
Sure you do.
you've seen Going Clear, right? The Scientology documentaries Alex Gibney, I think, did.
No, I told you I hadn't seen it yet.
You still haven't seen it? It's there on HBO Max,
No.
so you can watch it anytime.
Okay.
And you should, because they're trying to put their finger on, like, what is Scientology? Why is Scientology unacceptable compared to other religions? Because other religions sell you a bill of goods in just the same way. And there was a
not that anybody would admit to that.
No, but that's the counter argument, isn't it? It's like, aren't all religions to some extent like this?
Yeah.
And then the difference that one commentator came up with is like, it's like, they Christianity and Judaism and Islam, they give you the book. They give you the whole story of what the religion's about. But Scientology keeps that story from you.
Right.
Until you reach a certain level.
Interesting. Yeah, you have to level up.
And it sells it to you as basically like scientific realism. Like, we've got these scanners that can, detect thought patterns and emotions.
The midi-chlorians.
Yeah, it sells it to you as scientificism, and then, it says, congratulations, you're now Scientology grade 3. It's all about lizard aliens. So that's in direct contravention of what you thought you were signing up for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think something similar going on here, right? I signed up for the IMF as just these elite intelligent agents.
These elite intelligence people, exactly, that like put their lives on the line every day and kind of give up a normal life to help protect the rest of us. That's enough.
Yeah, and we're told that what it is like it's a rehabilitation.
Desperate people that were caught being thieves and murderers who have to be forced into protecting our country.
It's a rehabilitation program and or the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
And that's not what we signed up for.
That is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, and this is where we kind of introduce... So he gets on the plane, all dusty. He's brought back to War Room.
He does
HQ.
say, one of them says, "We'll have our reckoning." I think Briggs says, "We'll have our reckoning."
That's right. Yeah, that's a very...
I wrote down, bit much.
That's
a bit much.
It's very Spy Who Loved Me. Kind of like Triple X is like, once all this is done, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, right.
But I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad Tom Cruise didn't need to fuck Shea Wiggum in order for that not to happen. Or am I? Would that have been a better? I don't know. It'd have been more interesting.
Yeah, right?
That would have been more
interesting. I was just going to say, more interesting.
Than handing someone looking like you're about to shoot someone and then handing them the gun.
Yeah, this next scene as they bring him into the... Like, it was so War Games, I was looking for the fucking Whopper.
Yeah, it was War Games, it was Doctor Strangelove, but, like, again, they've reached an impasse of set design. There's like, how do we make this the best war room anyone's ever seen in a movie? I was like,
let's make it 5 acres large.
Exactly, that's it. It's like, we'll just, like, more tables.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, if that's all you got, stop making these movies.
Yeah.
Actually, this whole section of the movie can go without any loss to the movie. The stakes are established.
Literally, it's like the whole thing was shot just to get to the preview line of "I need you to trust me one last time."
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose.
I mean, that's what all of this is built for that.
I suppose. Yeah. It. I mean, it's interesting because you try and, obviously there were production issues, right? And so you try and look, it's like, how does this scene speak to resolving those production issues? And then, the beginning of the scene, you're like, well, we already cast, Mark Gatiss and Charles Parnell, and they were in the scene in the previous movie. Let's just have them all in a room. We bring Angela Bassett back into...
Add to them.
Exactly, but what doesn't make sense, it's like, oh no, you're trying to build out this world.
Right.
I understand kind of reusing it because, well, you cast the actors and they fit the costumes and bring them in, have them say some placeholder dialogue, and send Ethan off in his way, and we never hear from any of these characters again. But they're doing the opposite of that. They're actually trying to build a B plot around these characters.
Right.
And it's really frustrating.
Guys, get ready to smile. We got Nick Offerman. We got Holt. We got, we're just going to keep adding and adding and adding.
Yeah. And all the various levels of government that we saw there is like, reminded me of Willie Cheech in Godfather 2. Family had a lot of buffers. There's a lot of buffers in this government. I don't get the sense that anyone's running anything. There's about 7 people between every level of authority.
Right.
And again, not wishing to belabor this point, but we've had this scene. We've had a mission briefing. We've had Angela Bassett do a mission briefing. And, that would be enough of an insult in and of itself, but it's another scene that is going to be mostly reliant on clip shows. So we're into Simpsons clip show territory here. It's like reading.
Well, for me, I remember thinking
there's no reason for us to watch them all reading through his file unless it's a prompt, like a Trail of the Pink Panther style prompt showing Clouseau going through 7 doors and out into the pond.
I think it's just we're playing the hits.
Yeah, greatest hits, absolutely.
And I kind of thought the opposite thing. Like, instead of excising this whole scene, just cut this scene in half, but excise everything that came before it, because this is all you need.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you can make
Because I think we're like an hour into this movie.
if you
now.
can make cuts elsewhere, I'll have this moment. I don't mind this moment.
Yeah.
I it's kind of it's sort of like they give, but also the way it's done, it's kind of like they're giving themselves notes on the writing, because they they do the things that we always say. It's like, why are you showing clips from, earlier on in this movie or one movie ago?
Yeah,
and they say the same thing. It's like, that was 2 months ago. You were in that room.
Right.
And I'm like, it's like a writer discovering in real time his own plot hole. I was like, well, there's nothing we can do about it now. We just have to call it out and move on.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is some merit to this idea of like, this was all one man.
Yeah. I think that's the point that they would say. Like, that's why we're
But also, like, why is that
underlining everything he's done, because that's a lot for one man to have done.
There's a better way to do it, though, because there's so many weird lines, like Janet McAteer saying, "What's a Knox list?" I'm like, well,
a knock list, yeah.
Oh yeah, what's a Knox list? I'm like, well, it's a code word for something in espionage. You must have come across this before, where something is called something specific
In your job.
It's like, for instance, you call the nuclear football the biscuit. You all know that term?
Yeah.
In 1996, we called a list of spies the Knock list. It's not that hard to figure out. Like, it's an anachronistic term. It's espionage. Code words go out of fashion, as a rule.
Yeah.
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out.
Yeah.
But this is where I knew we were really in the realms of science fiction, because we've got an experienced woman of color as the US president.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we're beyond speculative science fiction. This is like fantasy now.
I seem to recall too, because they really wanted her in the last movie, but Tom Cruise, who wasn't paying attention to what anybody else was doing in the world, just kept filming his movie during COVID in the ways that I told you, where he was like cold calling the leaders of countries and saying, no, yeah, I think we're going to start really filming here and we could do it safely, just so that they would let them come to their country. But Angela Bassett couldn't get a visa. Like, she couldn't get at, like, this country would not let her leave. And so they couldn't put her in that movie. And she was super bummed about it. And then they said, don't worry, we're going to bring you back in an important way. And that's why she's the president.
I don't think she minded when she got a undue Oscar nomination for Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
For doing absolutely nothing in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, and it's greatest hits in the sense of, you sort of see they're trying to throw in like one more outing for a convention of the series, and really make a point of it. So the whole idea of like taking Hunt to task, and then when he's getting in the prison helicopter going, okay, all right, we were lying, you can go off and do your rogue thing.
You could go ahead and do it.
Which is
I don't know why, but also in that
Ghost Protocol, right? It's like, I thought Tom Wilkinson was going to come back from the dead. It's like, I recovered from my head wound, and now I'm in charge of you.
By the way, you put a flare in my chest. Not cool. I don't know why, but there was something that oddly struck me where I don't know if welled up is quite the right word, but when that no-named woman in her uniform, she's part of the army, says,
"Yeah,
sir, good luck." Like her sending him off with, God, fucking please try to save all of us. Like, for some reason, there was something in that I really enjoyed in her. I don't know if it was the performance or what, but I was filled with like, yes, go Ethan, go.
It definitely ramps up to those moments, but once you get there, you're like, oh, we're gonna have to stand around in a room for a long time, round robining lines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, like, when he goes to the aircraft carrier, I'm like, now we're just showcasing other Tom Cruise movies. We're not even, like...
Yeah, right.
We're not even referencing other Mission Impossible movies. So it's just anything to do with Tom Cruise.
Because, like, he's talking... I have a note here that he's talking to Waddingham,
Mm-hmm.
but there's, like, a dual exposition dump
my God, yes.
between Benji and Ethan. Like, they're both explaining the same exact thing, I think
it's-
the same exact time.
I think it's triple. I think it's also being intercut with Angela Bassett telling her team that too.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Of why she let him go?
Yeah, I think so. Because I remember, and again, like, I don't know why I'm asking the question. They've got some connection that has something to do with that envelope. Did we ever find out what that is? Did she save her son or something?
Yeah, it had something to do with, I think maybe another friend died
Okay.
on that day in front of them, and it was like... And Waddingham, I think she gives Cruz her St. Christopher medal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other submarine captain.
Yes,
Well,
would
no.
believe him. Yeah.
I think we can lose one of... That tells me we can lose one of these two submarine captains. And I think I know which one it might be.
Yeah.
It's definitely not Mr. Melchek.
Hell no. Breath of fresh air. And we're about to get to him, so why don't we take another break?
Well, yeah, Listen, I have no issue with Hannah Waddingham. She's definitely...
She's great.
She's
a great actor.
Yeah, she's great in Ted Lasso. I liked her in Game of Thrones. She is definitely in the overexposed category right now.
Yeah.
She should not have been in this movie. She's miscast in this role. But, it's two sides of the same coin, right? We're going to get to Mr. Melchek, and it's like, you keep putting... we got a lot of time to catch up on. I don't think he's a young man, even though he looks about 14. But I think he's older than that. So, we need to retrospectively put him in as many big movies as possible.
Agreed.
Hannah Waddingham is not in... That's it. I don't need to see her in any other role anymore. So...
Mm-hmm.
Or do something with her like Ted Lasso, where it's like, that's the only actor who can play that role.
Yeah,
The show would not be as good if she wasn't playing that role. That's what I get from Ted Lasso.
Absolutely.
Here I'm like, what are you doing, guys?
Anybody could have done that.
And it's a height issue as well. There are two fucking
Yeah,
giants in this movie. Like, actors who are specifically known for their gigantism. Their non-medical gigantism. Ken Griffey Jr. And they're both cast as characters who are, like, on submarines.
Right.
Can't even fit into the fucking submarine.
If you like podcasts like I do, boy, do I have a treat for you. You need to
Stay on target.
and check out the Sounds and Cinema podcast. Listen as your host, sound designer and music creator Tony Parham, and co-host, musical performer and sound lover Derek Hansen, D-Rock if you're nasty, and I am, discuss all things sound related to film, television, stage, and theatrical productions. They discuss environmental sounds, bioacoustics, dialogue, the nature of communication through sound, but as an added bonus, they drink beer and try to...
Stay on target.
Find them wherever you get your podcasts and listen to the pure mania of a man who can charitably be described as Doug, the dog from Up, and another man with a soothing and sultry voice trying to get that man to...
Stay on target.
That's the Sounds and Cinema podcast. Tune in and listen to the sounds they are creating just for you. And we're back once again, ladies and gentlemen. I was telling Tom on the way out, I'm afraid this might be a four-parter as we continue talking about Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
It's ironic, because I think Ghost Protocol may have been one of our shortest episodes in some time.
I know, and we loved it.
And that's because there's no notes. Literally no notes.
Yeah.
Here, there's nothing but notes.
Lots and lots and lots of notes.
Obviously, I'm talking about the length of episodes post our classic Krusty era.
Oh, yeah, it goes
Those are
without
like
saying.
20 minute ranking episodes.
Yeah. No, we didn't even have opposite.
We didn't, no. We just folded it into the
we
show.
just did it and folded it into the beginning of the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
It's,
3, 2, 1. Which one do you like the most?
there is... I am not unaware of the irony as we spend most of these episodes complaining that movies are too long. And yet, the length of our episodes gets exponentially longer.
Expands.
So, I'm I'm aware of the irony, okay?
Yeah.
I get it. It's do what we say, not what we do.
All right, so the next thing you know, they have to split up the group.
Yeah. So
Well, no, they already split up. They split up a long time ago, I guess. But
well,
Ethan talks about the split up and like how we're gonna meet on top of the
that's
ice.
so true. Lots of shots of actors looking at each other in silence. Clearly, they don't know what the scene's going to be in the end of the movie, and they're just playing it safe.
Yeah,
It's like, let's shoot a look that could mean anything.
they're going to what is it, St. Matthew Island, I think, in the Bering Sea.
Yeah.
And this is the part that I love. I love
Dunlo?
that Dunlow's back. That's a great turn. The idea of it.
The the idea of it is a great turn. I agree with that. And it's so funny because I don't know if you know this guy from other stuff, but for me,
Not really.
no, it was that cameo, that kind of walk on in Mission Impossible, and he was the guy in the Goodfellas pizza advert in the UK
Oh, nice.
simultaneously. So he's always been the Goodfellas pizza guy for me.
Fantastic.
So and I like that. In terms of what I like about the execution of it, I like that they make him a real character.
Yes, me
and
too.
And they got lucky that he's actually a very good actor, because
Mm-hmm.
you could have had a really horrible actor doing this role, and they
Sure.
probably have to recast it if they were going to do everything they want to do with this guy, and he wasn't good.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of retconning here in terms of the impression you get of Dunlow from Mission Impossible versus what he is now. And some of that is development, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But some of it is also, like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't supposed to be the smartest guy at Langley.
Right. Yeah.
I think the way he has his tie on...
He's the guy
a-
that's supposed to just babysit that room.
He's the Milton of that office. That was what I always
Yeah.
got.
yeah.
He's Milton.
Totally.
And Simon Pegg will have you believe that he is a coding legend. I think he even uses those words.
Yeah. Right.
Does he say coding legend, or am I?
He might. I think he does.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't want to misspeak like the terrible dialogue of this movie. But I'm pretty sure he says, now I've seen it twice, he's a coding legend. And that wasn't what he was supposed to be, obviously. He was, he was a punchline.
Yeah, and he plays it like a punchline too. Back then.
Yeah, he's got the glasses and the open
He's
shirt.
got the glasses. He sees the knife, and he's very confused.
Oh, doesn't he
and
talk
looks
about like?
up
And isn't he like talking about sports with someone? And he's got the newspaper and a coffee. Like,
yeah, she squirts the puke her guts out juice into his coffee.
they should special edition it so you get some ADR. So we're saying he's so humble for a coding legend.
Yeah,
You wouldn't know it from looking at him that he's a coding legend.
yeah.
He really plays that off well. What a bunch
If
of
he
clowns.
was as smart in the first movie as he is in this movie, the second she sat down next to him, like this stunningly beautiful woman, he'd be like, something's up.
And I don't think it's necessary to do that. I think you could have just made it as he's a hapless character, but he sees his moment to do something significant.
Well, you could make him obsessive too, in that sense of his getting banished to this ice block made him start reading everything that he could
Yeah, could do that.
and learning and learning and learning and learning.
That is also another option. Both options are viable, but that is not what this movie does.
No.
Yeah. And also, tonally, I think, like, because he was such a lightweight cameo in the original, he comes in immediately brooding and somber, and I wish we'd have, like, a little levity before that happens.
He doesn't have enough time because the Russians show up so quick.
But, there could be a moment where you establish in your mind that even though he doesn't look like he's aged a day since that, in fact, he as I say, looks better than he did then. There needs to be a moment where you connect him. I suppose that's what they have the clips for. You connect him with the character that you saw in 96. So
That's the thing I really don't like, though. I don't like the continual flashback
Agree.
to him.
You should be
back
doing that
in the past.
You should be doing that in the present tense and go like, I don't know, a gesture or something, or no, not a line. That would be stupid. But like he shouldn't say you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. But
Yeah.
like you could have a moment where you connect the character on the same level before it's like, I'm so sorry, but everyone in this movie speaks in this cadence, and now I, this comedic character from 1996's Mission Impossible, have to also speak in this cadence.
Have gravitas.
Exactly, yes. But I agree with you. I think the idea is sound, and it's a throwaway line. I like the idea that the throwaway line in a past movie can have some,
Mm-hmm.
have some cause and effect for a future movie. I like that idea very much. I just don't think they did what they should have done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to when Kitteridge, I don't think Kitteridge should notice him. We'll get there. I think that was a mistake as well. I think they should have made a point of showing that Kitteridge didn't recognize him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's so small fry to Kitteridge
Right.
in the original movie that doesn't fit as well, that he would remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's why they make him a coding legend. But that doesn't make sense. Kitteridge wouldn't be like, get this guy, get this guy.
Get this important coder the furthest away from usefulness as possible.
He was a drone. He was totally a drone. It
Yeah.
only makes sense if he was a drone. Sorry, I'm ruining the the things that you like about this movie, and I'm not trying to. Because in principle, I like it too.
Well, we're gonna cross-cut, right? We got cross-cut from Ethan on at first he's on a helicopter. He's got to drop into the ocean and get picked up
And
by Mr. Milchek.
and as much as he would, go around the world saying that he's, giving himself credit for doing this, it does make a difference. You absolutely do believe he's in freezing water, which I assume he is. I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't look like acting.
Yeah. No.
It's become a guarantee of these movies that if you see Tom Cruise in any dangerous situation, he is in real proximity to that.
He is in an actual dangerous situation.
And that is kind of thrilling. It does make you can tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different, I wouldn't necessarily call it acting because it's almost the opposite of acting, but it's, it's kind of the Evel Knievel,
Yeah, right.
David Blaine kind of self-torture.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's performance. It's performance art for sure.
Definitely.
And, it does make a huge difference.
Right.
You are not looking. It's kind of got that Werner Herzog quality where he's sort of making the movie by having everyone on the movie do the terrible things that happen in the movie for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is when the movie starts to take off for me because
Yeah,
after he does his ridiculous stunt, he gets picked up by Captain Bledsoe, Mr. Milchek. Like the second he arrives, he's just fucking amazing from the start. Those two have more sexual chemistry than Tom Cruise has with anybody else in any of these movies.
completely agree.
It's fucking amazing.
He's just been announced as a new Spider-Man villain in Brand New Day.
Bledsoe?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, the submarine captain character is going to turn out to be Dr. Octopus. I don't know which character it is. I didn't recognize the name of the character, but
okay.
as we never do with neither of us know anything about comic books, so I'm sure
Oh, man.
it's a name that I'm sure means a lot if you have read comic books, but it didn't mean anything
Read
to me. But I
comics.
was just like, yeah, get him in the Spider-Man movie, get him in as many movies as he should have been in for the last 10
possible.
years.
Oh, my God. When he gives that fucking wry smile, says, Mister, if you came here to poke the bear,
Yeah.
you've come to the right place.
Yeah, I mean, like, he barely moves in any of his scenes. He does most of his
Yeah, right.
expressions through eyebrow raising.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a great choice. I like the idea that, you know, like being it's almost and I think, you know, I've heard him talk about Mr. Melchek, and you know, it's like he's a riddle. I'm continually trying to find out, you know, I'm playing it as if I'm trying to solve a riddle of who this guy is. And I think he's got, like, even with this totally, you know, redundant character, he's just like, you know, if you were on a submarine for so long, would you like stop gesturing? Like, what's the point in raising your arm?
Keep banging into things.
Yeah, like you would just like become this person who communicates only through, you know,
Yeah.
vocals and occasional eyebrow movements, and it's and the movie takes it. This was a point in the second viewing of the movie where I was like, ooh, maybe I like this more than Dead Reckoning,
Yeah.
because at the same time we get, it's an illusion, but at the same time we get Mr. Melchek coming in, who I totally had Mandela affected into the last movie. I totally thought we'd had him already.
Mm.
But this is his first appearance.
Yeah.
And then stock Russians appear
Yes.
at the cabin, and I was
absolutely.
like, I'm not saying this is better, but it's cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
This Cold War shit is cleaner. I understand it. I get it. It's Ghost Protocol, basically. Like, Brad Bird is like, by God, we'll make this the 1960s Cold War.
Yeah, when both Haley Atwell and that stock Russian both say to each other, "Would you believe that
little-
if you were me?"
His little cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is the guy you get. This guy just sits there and waits for stock Russian roles in Hollywood, doesn't he? He's played them all.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, it's exactly who you want. And I'm really glad this is a point at which it wasn't like, you know, Zendaya or something, which, you know, with the stunt casting in this movie, people, anyone whom there's goodwill towards,
Yeah.
it currently in cinema could have played this role. But they gave it to the guy who, you know, is he in K-19?
Oh, I'm sure he is.
That's what, but he's played all those roles, and I love the fact that they were just like, yeah,
He's
let's.
got to be rolling around on that fucking plane somewhere in Air Force One.
The logic there is like, let's not try and stunt cast this. Let's just get the guy who always does it.
Yeah.
Just if it was, you know, if it was a outrageous Hispanic, it would go to, what's he called?
George Lopez?
Luis, what's his name? From Out of Sight.
Oh, Guzman?
Guzman, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like, let's not work too hard on this.
Yeah, right.
We don't need to. So I've got great acting in one part of the movie. I've got like genre. I've got like identifiable genre fiction in the other. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe this is working out to be not as bad as I thought it was.
Because on the submarine, you also have, what's her name? Katie O'Brien. And she's the one, like, she's given, like, he's kind of getting a briefing from a bunch of them. But the woman.
Is she the one who looks like she's come straight from the reboot of Aliens?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And she's like Love Lies Bleeding woman.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah.
Well, I find her utterly watchable, though. Like,
Okay.
I think she does quite a bit with not a lot of dialogue in every scene she has with Tom Cruise in this particular movie. Even when they're looking at each other through the porthole before he leaves the submarine to go to the other submarine.
He just
This
how
fucking movie.
much of this movie is Tom Cruise going from submarine to submarine?
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that. I gotta take a submarine to get to a submarine to go to another submarine.
Yeah, so I could get to the top of the ice.
Surely, when you're editing, you could think we could probably lose at least one of these submarines.
Can we lose a submarine here?
We've got.
Do we need 2 battleships? The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I find what's he called, the Ginger Giant guy, just distracting. I'm like, first of all, like, I suppose he has to speak with an American accent, or you'll be like, why is there a foreign spy on a? Because he's Scandinavian, I think.
Which guy?
The tall ginger. He played one of the. What do they call them? the wild folk, and that's not the right term for it, but in you know, you've seen Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, but I want them to be called the wild folk.
What are they called? The people who live beyond the wall, the wildlings.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. The
And then he sort of he couldn't get any other work, so he's in love with Gwendolyn Christie
yeah.
because she's another giant. And then he couldn't, you know, it was like everyone loved him, and then he ended up doing like those Scott's commercials for fertilizer where they always need a ginger. And he,
Yeah,
and
right.
he was pretending to be Scottish, and now
Is he in this? I don't even remember
yeah, he's
him.
one of
Where
he's
is
one
he?
of the Submariners. Pulled that word
Oh,
out.
fuck.
Pulled that word out of my ass.
Congratulations.
Submariner. He's one of the Submariners. He's one of the
All
two
right.
tall Submariners. Yeah, he has like 2 or 3 lines, and he has to do them with a fake American accent, so we don't all go, why is there a Scandinavian guy?
Why is there a fucking... Yeah.
So he's the wrong casting for so many reasons, and he's just so distracting, because it's a fucking giant guy with a big ginger beard. Fucking jolly... Put the Jolly Green Giant back there, why don't you?
Doesn't the Navy make you fucking shave off your beards?
Probably not on submarines, right? I mean, that's...
All right.
I don't know. If Das Boot has taught me anything,
Yeah,
that and
right.
how great the Nazis were. That's what that movie's about, right?
I think
Why
so.
we should all be Nazis.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but this is one of the few times, as you said, that this whole idea that there's a worldwide cult of entity worshippers comes into play.
Yeah, because Ethan gets attacked.
Which is what Scientology does to people, by the way. So I don't know why Tom Cruise is fighting this. Yeah, and then the translation, my next note was, translation husky scene could be cut without loss to film. And this is, you know, I think they're literally thinking about, we need a moment of levity. Like, do we have anything? Not really, no. But if we put huskies,
No.
an Inuit woman, and Haley Atwell, we might get away with something.
Yeah, but they also, it's like they're also trying to build character, because even though they're trying to bring levity, there's that moment, I think Dunlow, maybe he writes it in a note that he gives to his wife
Yeah.
that says, like, I love you, I will see you again.
Yes.
And I thought it was funny because I thought it was all just a ruse for them to beat up the Russians and kind of take their little camp back. But he somehow knew, no, you have to go get the dogs and just fucking leave us with Haley Atwell.
True.
Just fucking take off and pick up Tom Cruise. Get out of here. Get out of here. Try not to die. You know, there was an entire scene they filmed where his wife fell off the fucking sled with the dogs, and Haley Atwell had to, like, choose whether or not she was going to go back and try to find her or keep going.
They filmed that. They took time to film that.
Yeah.
They must like, as they were filming it, was like, there's no way this is making it into the movie. Why are we even
I
bothering?
know. So funny.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, they're playing fast and loose as to whether they were going to kill these characters off here or let them live.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of moments in these films where you don't see the scene when you don't. There's 2 characters you think are going to die, a couple of characters you think are going to die, and then you just see them pop up in a later scene, and they don't tell you how their lives were saved, how they didn't die.
Really?
Yeah, Dunlow and Benji.
Oh my God, I have so many more notes.
Okay, well, let's keep going. That's okay.
I'm really worried we're not going to beat the running time of this fucking movie.
Well, here's a section that is, I think, gloriously note-free, at least for me, coming right up.
Agreed. This is, I think, the best scene in the movie.
Maybe in the series. Actually,
Yeah.
there's one tiny fly in the ointment. Otherwise, flawless.
Okay. Well, here's my note about how they were going to ruin it
Okay.
that I alluded to earlier, because
It was going to be yakety sax.
for starters, we're talking about the submarine scene.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, second submarine scene.
When he goes from when he's swimming from the second to the third submarine. Yes.
But all of that is fucking gangbusters,
Amazing.
great filmmaking.
It is.
And their inclination was to not make it without sound, like without voices. They were gonna do
that's a bold
full-
choice. That's a bold choice.
Yeah. And they were going to do from his helmet telling him you're at 700 feet, 1,000 feet, to hearing the voices of people on the other submarine talking to him.
Probably
And
have a
thank God
flashback
they
or two.
realized that, thank God they realized film is a visual medium and that they didn't need any of that shit because what they put together here is fucking incredible.
Yeah, so it's an ambient underwater sequence without dialogue. It's glorious filmmaking. It's exactly what they should be taking time to do. Like this is an
Yes.
example of justified indulgence.
You can indulge in this completely
Yeah.
at your own pace, and I will watch all of it.
And this is how transcendent a sequence it is. Both literally, it's like mindfulness for me. Both in the movie theater, I went into a meditative state,
Yeah.
and the same thing happened when I watched it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally, once the sequence was over, I forgot I was in a movie theater watching a movie where people speak to each other,
Yes. Right.
and that is a real accomplishment. And so, my only notes, I got couple of notes.
Okay.
Probably don't need the flashbacks to the submarine in the submarine cold open of the last movie. We got a few flash frames of the Russians. It's like, I get that those skeletons are probably the crew of this boat. Right?
Yeah. I've seen The Abyss. I'm fine.
I was like, yeah, that's the uniforms and all, and the fact that they're in the submarine.
The uniforms and all. It's a dead giveaway.
And then it's interesting you say that they were kind of fighting against the urge to put dialogue in because, they...
Not just that, they were also going to cross-cut
Oh.
with Haley Atwell on top of the ice,
That-
with all that going back to save the wife and
It
shit.
could have been so much worse, but they
Yeah.
they still, like, I was willing them to keep it an entirely dialogueless sequence. And then, of course, we have the one moment where Tom Cruise goes, "Torpedo tubes!"
Does he say it?
He says, "Torpedo tube!" Yeah, he says it out loud. He says, both, and that was why I noticed on both films, he goes, "Torpedo tube!"
Oh, wow.
And it's like, I saw it, I was like, so they feel like they need to put that in because people might not know that's a torpedo tube he's escaping out of. But does it really matter at one small hole?
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter to him what it is. Well, it's a small hole.
Yeah, right.
It's a small...
Even
get
if
out
he
of the
didn't
small
know
hole.
that that's what it was.
That looks like a small hole. There's some light coming out of it. That's my way out.
Yeah.
So if they could have pushed themselves even further and gone, we don't even need that exposition.
Yeah.
And they made it entirely real time, present tense.
Yes.
It would have been perfect. As it is, it's virtually perfect. And as I say,
Yeah.
it's one of the most.
It's real close.
It's transcendent.
Filmmaking.
Yeah, it is. It's. I would happily just listen to the sequence to get me to sleep. The soundscapes are pitched just right to the language of the visuals as well. It's a complete unity of sound and vision here.
And what I love about it too is the one aspect that really surprised me within it that other movies don't seem to take into account. Like there are portions of this submarine that have been unflooded,
Yeah.
and his coming in brings water in, and that disbursement of water fucks up what he's doing. I mean, it makes the submarine move. It gives stakes, but it's all done told silently. Tom Cruise isn't saying, "Oh, this water's going to be a problem." Like we're just watching it happen in real time. It's fucking great filmmaking.
I wondered as well whether Torpedo Tube was just like they were worried that the audience might fall asleep, like literally fall asleep.
Maybe.
Like the sequence might be too effective because he kind of does. It's even the way he says it. He goes Torpedo Tube, like that, like ah. Yeah, and I mean, I suppose the downside of it is like when they start talking again in the movie, I'm like, should
could this rest of the movie be silent?
Yeah, right.
They're so good at visual storytelling. You'd think that
Just-
they could do it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and it's funny. I must have blocked it out because I don't remember him saying torpedo tube. But the idea of him opening up one tube and seeing that there's a torpedo
Unless
in
I'm
it.
saying
First
it,
of all,
unless I'm saying it in my head at exactly the same moment in both viewings, which I don't think is possible.
But you already have the visual storytelling. He opens up one tube and there's a torpedo in it, so he has to open up another one.
It's
And the continual raising of stakes, because I remember thinking when his not scuba tank, but whatever newfangled scuba tank he's got
personal decompression unit or whatever it is, yeah.
won't fit. I thought he was just going to take it off and carry it. But when he started cutting out the wetsuit, I remember thinking, oh no, don't do that. It's very cold down there.
Yeah.
And
as has been
so
established.
those continual raising of stakes were just fucking, it was so much fun to watch. It's transcendent. That's the kind of shit I love.
Me too. And I think this is a rare example because they think they've done a better job on this movie than they actually have. This is a rare example where I don't think they know how good a job they've done. Because if you did, you'd be like, okay, take those flashbacks out, take out torpedo tube ADR, because that's gonna be the fly in the ointment of an otherwise perfect sequence.
Yeah.
But so I don't think they know what they have, if anything, here.
Well, I think in their minds they thought it was a great scene, but I don't think that they realized what makes it great.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, hopefully, in the end, they pretty much did, because they did at least edit out all those other terrible ideas, and they stuck with this.
Mm-hmm.
But it like, to hear them talk about it, it sounded like they were just hoping. They didn't really understand.
Which shows that they've come...
Like, just looking at it, it's so plainly obvious.
And you doubt,
what about it works.
And that's the sort of drift that you see throughout the series. Like, the Christopher McQuarrie directing Rogue Nation wouldn't have second guessed himself about that.
Yeah.
If he had a sequence like that on his hands, he wouldn't have second guessed himself.
Yeah, good point.
So we've got some more wisp. So he wakes up in the View to a Kill tent, which is also a lot like the Tauntaun from Empire Strikes Back that Luke gets into.
Sure.
We have that shot of the plane, which is of the helicopter, which is just like when Han Solo's waving to the. Nice of you to drop by. That scene.
But part of this is also, it's weird. Like, part of Grace being there is part of the weakness of this film, because when he's in the AI chamber, it tells him that there will be an explosion on top of that ice and that she'll die if she's there. And he's like, they keep it in. He says to her, no matter what, don't go on the ice. And then she does, and and it's like we just forget about it. So edit that shit out at the beginning of your movie if she's going to end up on the ice.
Agree. Yeah. So I see. This is how this movie fucks with me. I didn't even want to admit that that's what I thought had happened. That they showed that and then forgot about it. I assumed I'd forgotten something that happened.
Nope.
And I didn't want to say it out loud to you because I thought you'd mock me for not understanding the movie. So
nope, you were dead on.
I'm so glad that you took the lead, because that is atrocious filmmaking.
It's so terrible.
That is not okay.
Oh, god damn it.
And there's more whisper exposition here. This is where I'm really turning up the volume of my TV to try and understand what's going on. But from what I can hear, Ethan Hunt is the second coming, and he has this godlike individual power which the destiny of the world is heading towards. That's what I got from this scene. Is that fair? Is that what they're talking about?
Wait, are we still in the tent?
Yeah, when they're in the tent.
Okay.
He's just saying, oh, you're the one, your destiny is to save the world. And only you can do it. And only you have the power to keep this safe. And it's the chosen one. essentially. Does she even say
Yeah.
chosen one?
I didn't write it down, so I don't know.
That might be me putting words in her mouth at that point. I think coding legend is said, but I don't think chosen one is said. And then he has the Real Housewives reunion scene with Dunlow on the plank.
Dunlow, yeah.
Just like a Real Housewives reunion.
And Dunlow says there's no reason to be sorry.
Yeah, which is where it gets distinctly Unreal Housewives. It's like he doesn't even
Lets him off the hook.
doesn't even try and remove Tom Cruise's hair weave.
Right. Oh, by the way, in the movie theater, I kept writing little tally marks for how many times I saw the knife from the first movie, both in flashback and in real time in this movie. On my first 2 pages of notes, 2 times. This page of notes, 5 times. Like, they keep going back to it while he's on the plane with Dunlow, like over and over and over again. It's astonishing.
Is this kind of
It's like a directorial tick.
It's like this movie is edited specifically for people who are brain damaged and have incapable of short-term memory.
Yeah, agreed.
It's like this movie is edited for people with brain damage who have no short-term memory. Oh, I can retire now. I can retire from podcasting.
You're done.
So I'm glad that you were keeping tallies on the knife. The tallies I realized I needed to be keeping track of and hadn't up to this point, and it was too late. How many characters are in each individual scene?
Yeah, that plane is full. I mean, we got Tarzan and Paris and Benji.
When you say Tarzan and Benji, it makes me sound like we're talking about Tarzan of the Apes and Benji the dog.
Benji the dog?
It's a better movie.
Fucking gorilla in the back.
How many times you see the same characters in the same shot is another one. Like, how much of this movie could have been filmed where you just do everyone's coverage separately? Quite a lot of it, I think. And how long you can go consecutively without showing a clip?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Because I in the brief moments that I was
that'd be a good one to keep time of.
Drinking game.
How long we go before we see a flashback?
Drinking game.
Totally.
But what's the streak is what I want to know. What's the streak of...
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be more than a minute. Actually, no, what? It must be... We could probably get away with... Because the submarine scene is 20 minutes long, isn't it? 15. I count. It's like 15 minutes. The underwater scene.
That's it?
15, I think, yeah.
Oh, it's so glorious.
I know. So most of that is flashback free. Most of it. So, I'm sure Simon Pegg loved this scene where he gets to do a Star Trek style technobabble explanation for the way that they're going to capture the entity.
Yeah, so they do that mission update briefing where they have to tell each other exactly how the plan must go.
Yes.
In order for everything to work.
And he does his kind of like Bender's, like letting the air out of a balloon with the idea of a genie in a bottle. Except it's the Star Trek technobabble analogy turned on its head. Because what it is a really simple idea that they're trying to make look like complicated science. It's literally like we're gonna trap the ghost of the entity in a bottle
And in the light bulb.
Yeah,
and Grace is a quick pickpocket.
And I got a lot of questions about what's making it glow. Are these the Shankara?
The malicious code, Tom. The malicious
the
code.
Shankara
of the Rabbit
stones. I mean. That's not the last Temple of Doom reference I'll make. That gets very Temple of Doom later on in this movie. But now, like, it's kind of interesting because I think one of the criticisms I had of Fallout was that, you know, Ethan had these psychic predictions from his dreams that informed the plot.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of seems all that seems very minimal compared to what they're doing now, which is that everyone is saying this is going to happen, so we have to account for this definitely happening in the future.
Yeah, right.
So everyone's a psychic now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No one of them has more psychic ability than the other, except Ethan because he was been in the entity coffin for longer.
Yeah. I called it the How We Win exposition dump.
Yeah. Definitely. And they get off the plane and then...
It's convenient that everybody that was, patrolling and taking care of this mine just left.
Yeah, so this is basically the impetus for the Jungle Drums, is that that what are we, like, nearly 2 hours into the movie, and like...
Yeah.
So that was introducing a location that we wouldn't see for hours into the movie. So, because this is the first time they're in South Africa.
Our exotic locale drumbeat music.
And there's a lot of what are clearly insurance shots of them looking at each other in the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to the point where, like, they kind of, like, you know, it's like, just shoot a look at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, why are we looking at each other like this? It's okay, don't worry about it. Just do it. But also, it's like, what it looks like to me, going back to the Star Trek analogy, is that it looks like cutaways to the Enterprise are missing. You know, it's like it's like you could intercut this with looking at the Enterprise leaving space dock, and then these looks would sort of make these longing looks to each other would sort of make sense. But as it is, it's just we're on our way to the next set piece.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing more significant than that happening, but they're looking at each other as if there's a hidden significance.
Yeah, right.
That we as the audience well, I think the idea is that we're supposed to decide whatever we think it is. Like, I think it's like, you know, you can headcanon that Dunlow's going, oh, I'm so glad I'm still alive, and that I seeing my wife again. And, you know, Tom Cruise is looking at Haley Atwell and going, meow, 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 meow.
Tom Cruise is looking at Haley Atwell and saying, man, I miss Milchek.
He's just putting a fake mustache on her. She's like, what are you doing? It's like, just roll with it. Can you put your hair back a little bit? Can you become an unbelievably handsome black man for a moment?
Yeah.
Oh, Melchett.
Please say poke the bear to me.
That'd be great. They should have just had basically, given that they were making all this movie up on the spot, they should have been like, okay, well, he's clearly the best performance in the film.
Yeah.
Can he just turn up at the mine like, I left the Navy, I'm with you now.
Mm-hmm. I took a fucking plane off of this aircraft carrier.
I mean, it doesn't matter. There aren't any nations anymore. I don't know why we still have a fucking Navy.
Yeah, right. All right, well, I hate to say it, but I think we need to take one more break.
How many breaks have we had?
2 already.
2, so we need 3 to get to 4, yeah. You're right.
Because we've got enough. We got the whole last bit here.
We're going to have more segments than submarines.
So we're at 2 hours and 15 minutes.
No way!
Which means we got to try to come in. What is it? 50 minutes?
Did you know that the Everything Sequel podcast has a sequel? It's our Patreon, and for a low monthly donation, you can get up to 2 exclusive, full-length, ad-free bonus episodes. $5 a month gets you an episode discussing all the original movies from the series we've covered on the podcast. And that's a lot of snakeheads. But $10 a month scores you the reboot to boot. Support Everything Sequel on Patreon and reap the benefits of amazing brand new content you quite literally can't get anywhere else. Got more money than sense? We also offer one-time payments that will get you in the driver's seat of the podcast. Maybe even the passenger seat. That metaphor doesn't work, but our show does. So join the Patreon and believe the hype. It's a sequel.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, racing to the finish. I love that if we get this to a half hour, we consider it a success that we came in 4 minutes under the running time of this movie. But that's where we're at, so...
I'm glad we didn't try to record any more episodes around this.
Yes. You know, there was a part of me that thought, you know, maybe we could squeeze in posters of the other thing if I get pushed back at work, which isn't happening anyway. Damn it.
Are you sure you want this out there in the public domain?
Nobody listens to me. But yeah, no. Well, we've gone on long enough.
Well, unfortunately, and this is what's gonna bring us close to the running time. We got to go back to the war room.
Yes, because the president's about to almost die.
Now, this whole mutineer subplot, which has kind of been brewing in all the scenes in the war room, it's the kind of... I made a note earlier on, it's the kind of thing that you do when you're like a TV series like 24 and you've got 18 hours of television to fill.
Yeah, right.
Not when you don't need to pad out this movie in the way that you would like a 24 episode season.
Sure.
And likewise, it's one of the failures of one of the storylines of The Last Jedi, right? This whole idea of like the mutineers. It's like,
sure,
when you get into that territory, it really does feel like treading water. Unless the whole movie's about that. I'm not saying cut out.
Yeah, right.
Don't cut out the mutineer storyline from the Kane Mutiny, right? That's where it belongs. Okay.
That's the point.
Or Mutiny on the Bounty. We kind of need it.
Yeah, right. It's in the fucking title.
Although one of the versions of those movies could be shorter, I'll give you that. But anyways.
What, never mind. I don't
the Marlon Brando one.
Okay.
There's a lot of just Marlon Brando hanging out on an island that he would eventually buy that could be cut from the movie.
That he would eventually turn into the island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, I wish that was the story. That's an amazing story. Well, I don't want to even. This is a tangent we don't have time for. Maybe if you can remember, we'll talk about it in the posters. But ask me about Marlon Brando's acting class intensive.
All right then, sir.
Yeah, but we don't have time to talk about it now.
We sure don't. Well, they find another Gabriel bomb, and then Gabriel shows up and demands for Ethan to tell him that tell me I win. I think it says quite a bit how little we've talked about Gabriel for this movie.
Yeah. Is that his motivation now? Tell me I win?
It seems like it, yeah. But it's funny that... because he also, I'm pretty sure in this moment, he says, again, it's the second time we're hearing this is your final reckoning.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I made a note. Second time saying the title of the movie. They're not going to make the mistake of the last movie and not say the title in the film.
Yeah, right. I wrote down that Briggs shows up with Kittredge just fucking shit up.
It's kind of funny because you think you're trying to think about what's going on in the world of the movie, and you're also thinking what's going on in the world of you watching the movie. And so when they appear and they turn guns on everyone and they all come out with their hands up, I'm like, oh, it's another 20 minutes in the movie that doesn't need to be there. And it's also, I don't know about you, but there was a lot of and this is a welcome kind of reference, to me at least, that a lot of the later parts of these movies have an Indiana Jones feel to them. Mm-hmm. And this was the first sense of that. It reminded me.
This is the most Indiana Jones-ish.
This was
of them all.
very Last Crusade kind of. Marcus getting, as they go into the Grail in Petra. That scene. So and Dunlow and Kittredge kind of have their reunion, and he sort of half recognizes him, but I think it would have been way better if he just walked straight past him, and we made a point of that. That would have been amazing.
So good.
If he was just like, I don't know, it could be as stupid as like he needed Dunlow to hold something.
Yeah.
So he got really close to him, but still didn't click. Because
Well, or you could go the opposite way of him, addressing him,
yeah,
Mr. Kittredge. He's like, "Do I know you?"
yeah, yeah. Why does he? Yeah, why would he remember?
Yeah.
Except that Henry Czerny looks even younger than he did the last time we saw him, probably.
I know, right?
And it's a lot of standing around while disparate storylines converge. We cut all that out of the movie, we get it to a respectable length.
Well, and I think we talked about this in the ranking episode because, listen, it doesn't compare to the submarine sequence, but this biplane stunt it's all good stunt shit. I mean, Tom Cruise is doing a lot of great shit. And you can't argue against that. But you also have that idea that some of this has already been done, say on helicopters.
Yes.
In previous movies. So we've had the hanging and the dangling and the, hanging on for dear life.
That's such a good description.
The moving from one plane to another and all that kind
yeah.
of shit we've seen in Mission Impossible movies before. He's jumped from a helicopter onto a train, even from the first movie, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
with the help of an explosion. But this has that very sequelitis idea of just do more of it and have it be longer, and it's therefore more enthralling.
Yes.
And so, although the stunt itself is incredible, it does labor on a bit.
It underwhelmed me in the movie theater, but actually the second time I saw it, I thought it was a lot better than I remembered it.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's all thrilling stuff.
And they don't miss the point as badly as they do. They don't miss the mark as badly as they did in Dead Reckoning. I think they understand that we need to have a clear run of just this sequence in order for it to breathe and work. I don't think we had that in Dead Reckoning. It was all cluttered. There was like multiple lines of actions going on, and it was a really dense ball of multiple storylines all going on at once. And you still have that here, but then they stop for a moment, and it's just the biplanes for like a few minutes. And I think that so they kind of learn the lesson there. Everything you say is of course true. I mean, the sort of the idea of like old-timey planes doesn't really fit with anything else in the movie, but I like that they went there.
Well, it's because it's the entity protection, right? Because they don't have computers.
Is it though?
I think they explain that. That's what they say.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take it. I mean, once he gets over ground and starts running after the plane, it felt like it's like, oh, yeah, it feels like a movie I want to watch again.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just just a general kind of Temple of Doom style thrill ride.
Yeah, very much.
Like I'm kind of happy with that turn. I mean, in an ideal world, it would have been it would have just been this sequence and nothing else. But that you're in too deep to do that at this point, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the cross-cutting, and I think I like a lot of the stuff that's going on in the cave. I like that Benji says, does anybody have any medical experience? And Paris just says, I kill people.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I like that. I like him
that.
passing out and her slapping him around and that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, I was like, why only now are we allowing ourselves to have some fun with this? There's even like a Naked Gun moment where he looks like he's died, and then they slap him around the face, and he just wakes and they go, Benji!
Exactly,
and he just wakes up, and it's like, that's Naked Gun. That's all the way over to the other side of somber and brooding.
And then there's this other part of me that the sentimental part of me wants Dunlow to not die. But if you kill him, his wife, and Tarzan, you give us the stakes that you were looking to give us.
I still can't accept that you're not talking about Tarzan of the Apes. Go on, carry on. Which is so problematic in so many ways. But I'm sorry. That's that's a lifetime of association I'm trying to unpick.
I
here.
understand. but like I remember having this feeling that you're trying to give us stakes, and you could have given us the stakes that you were trying to give us with Luther in the beginning.
Yep.
That you tamped down by having him be sick. But you just couldn't resist your own happy ending where everybody gets to live and nobody has to sacrifice.
It's really noticeable, right? That they kind of they pick their sacrificial lamb, this Luther. They get it out of the way early, and then they won't.
And then they refuse to go anywhere
won't
else.
let anyone else die. Yeah, which is sort of like the whole point of letting legacy characters die in the way that like Alec Baldwin did, is to say, look, no one's safe.
Right.
The stakes are that high. You could lose your favorite characters.
And I think they feel like they can get away with it just because it's the last movie that we know of.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the final reckoning.
Yeah.
But, because there's some mixed messages there, too. But, it reminds me, it was a TV science fiction show, like, was kind of like contemporary with Doctor Who in the 70s. Didn't last as long. And in the final, like, it was about, like, a space pirates, basically.
Nice.
And, not the...
Were they ice pirates?
Well, effectively. And then, like, they got cancelled, and then the final episode, they just have everyone on the ship get blown up, like, in battle. They all died in battle, and you just saw them all die in slow motion. Like, I was like... And then that came across my mind when I was in this movie. I was like, now you can kill whoever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody has to survive the end of this movie.
No.
And they seem to be making a point of not doing that. I don't know if...
Well, clearly.
But I don't know if it's like there's some marketing guy in their ears going, we could do a Dunlow...
You never know.
We could do a Dunlow series. We could have a Dunlow series. We could have Dunlow webisodes.
Webisodes.
It'll be like Macmillan and Wife, but it's him and his wife going out solving mysteries in the Arctic.
Remember how big webisodes were? It was like around the time of The Office, when The Office first got popular.
Do they not do them anymore? Is that like an old man? Is that an old man yelling at cloud reference?
I think so.
Oh no!
I didn't mean to bum you out.
Well, you'd think there'd be more of them now, not less.
Yeah, right.
Not fewer. Oh, this is great. Like not just the sort of feeling of an Indiana Jones, but stuff I'd actually like to see in an Indiana Jones, like the wrong cockpit bit.
Yes, right.
That would grace an Indiana Jones. I could see that in the middle of Last Crusade. Like he spends all the time crawling into a cockpit, gets there, realizes it's not the one that drives the plane.
It's not the one he needs to be in. Yeah,
that was a genuinely laugh out loud moment. Maybe the only one in the entire movie.
Plus visual storytelling.
But it's just it's classic. And maybe it doesn't fit Ethan Hunt, but he's a little bit sloppy, or at least he used to be. So maybe it liked seeing some of that sloppiness come back.
Right.
This kind of reminds me of like the parachute opening at the beginning of Rogue Nation, which is like something that he didn't anticipate happening.
Right.
So I was like, and then there's the Benji stuff, and it's like, oh, it's getting fun again. And then we go back to the war room, and they're cracking open the biscuit.
All that nonsense with the
Now is a nuclear... This might be some... We could defer this for further research, but unless you know... Have you heard the nuclear... I always thought it was called the nuclear football.
Yeah, the football.
But they call it the biscuit, because you have to crack it open. There's something like...
Well, I thought the football was the whole case. Maybe the biscuit is just the codes?
Okay. So it's a football full of biscuits. I know where I've seen that before. Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
They crack it open like that. Yeah, okay. And with this stuff, I always wonder, like, presumably the American government doesn't want what this really is to get out. So are these all like Acme versions of what they really do, or like how close to reality?
Don't know.
Reality is it? Okay, I'll do some further research. I mean, I know Hesgeth will probably you send him a text and he'll give you all the information, but I don't really want to I don't want that information to be leaked for my own safety, so I'm good not asking him.
Meanwhile, back on the plane, we're getting some fucking cool shit. Him transferring, like him getting onto that yellow plane.
And there's this even the acting, I think, is better in this than it is in Dead Reckoning when they face off. Like, I made the outrageous claim that he starts speaking in an Irish accent and loses the ability to judge choices. But like, this is the first moment in both of these movies where I'm starting to really genuinely like Gabriel as a villain.
Yeah.
And the only reason I like
But it's so late.
He's just screaming in his face. And I was like, why is this good? And I'm like, oh, because it's like that bit in Temple of Doom with Mola Ram and him and Indy on the drawbridge. He's just kind of like,
and his maniacal laugh right before he impales himself on the fucking plane.
And I think part of it is probably like, trying to what we've talked about, trying to act through the 8 masks. Right? It's like, you got to do everything bigger so even the smallest gesture reads. So I think, it's fine. I think it's more just as Morales, just like, I gotta put it all out there because I don't know what's going to read at this altitude.
Sure. And you know what's funny about that is you're right, because he spends so much of this movie and the previous movie trying to be suave, calm, cool.
Ricardo Montalban.
Villain. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm actually enjoying this character now for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me why Ethan doesn't immediately connect the devices?
My question for you exactly.
Okay. Oh, great! I'm not.
Where he
I'm
decides
so glad I'm not
to
the
not do
idiot
that
I
and
thought.
jumps out of the airplane, I'm like, what are you doing? You do that first. You do that first.
So glad that I'm not the idiot I thought I was after watching this movie again. And it's
Like,
and by the
what
way,
are you doing?
it's fine to do that if you give an in-world reason for why he would wait. Because all I can headcanon is the character's thinking, "Oh, I can get out of this. I can survive this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it after I've launched the parachute." But that doesn't fit with the tone of like, we'll do what we need to do to protect other people, even if it means our own lives.
Yeah, exactly.
So waiting in that moment suggests a kind of vanity for Ethan Hunt.
And selfishness.
That goes against the grain of everything we've learned in the rest of the movie.
We are literally down to the last seconds here.
Yeah. It's like, again, like Temple of Doom. Why doesn't Indy rip her heart out? They never give a reason, just like they don't here. Other explanations I need, although I think I can figure this one out.
Okay.
When the entity's in the bottle,
Yeah.
it glows. You said malicious virus. I was thinking it's more like that's the way Luther designed it. So like, you know how gas is scentless, but you add an odor to it so you know that there's a gas leak? Because
Yeah.
how else would you know that it was in the bottle?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good self-retconning.
Although self-retconning. Although I do like the idea that it's just like an evil virus and they're going, nah, 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 nah.
Exactly. I'm gonna light it up.
I fucking Beavis as Cornelio. Okay, so there's no reason for him to wait on that. Good. Cleared that up. Yeah, and Luther, even the grave won't stop Luther making speeches.
Oh, willing the future into being, all good. Or all your good is measured by the good done to others.
It's it completes his journey, I think, from hacker to Morgan Freeman like Angel
Yeah.
in the 8 movies. I mean, literally now he's an angel because he's speaking from beyond the
Because
grave.
doesn't he say, "I will see you again"?
Oh, so is that a thing? Is that a thing in the movie? It's said by a lot of people, a lot of different people who don't know each other.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that a code word?
Because that's what I was saying. Dunlow says to his wife, right?
And she says it to. Doesn't she say it to Haley Atwell?
No, I don't know. Whenever she speaks, she's speaking in her own language. I don't think they even subtitle it.
I think it's subtitled when he says it. Anyway.
Maybe.
But it's clear they just forgot. They couldn't keep track of their own motifs. It's good to see what all of this means to people we just met less than an hour ago.
You mean like the president's son?
Presidents. It's like when we go around, like it's clear that
even they don't understand what's important anymore. Like, who's an important character and who's not. They don't know.
Yeah,
they don't
right,
know anymore.
right.
We're just going to have to...
Yeah.
Because we don't know, we're going to have to find out what everyone thinks about this, no matter how incidental they are to the series.
Right. Kittredge and Briggs are going to chop her in so Briggs can give fucking Ethan a handshake.
I mean, we see Admiral Melchek, which is kind of all that really matters, one more time.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, this, to me, the way that it pans out kind of speaks to what I don't like about this movie and what makes it a lesser movie for me than movies that technically are clearly worse. The self-importance that this movie keeps returning to makes it so hard to take. Like, coming after such an accomplished stunt sequence. It's like the price you have to pay for watching that is that, we will have, Lord of the Rings style,
Yeah.
People saying goodbye to each other. And maybe it's unfair. Maybe this is the moment they should be doing this, and not.
It's not rubbing me too wrong, like the whole thing in the square where. Well, it does and it doesn't.
The nod meeting in.
Yeah, the not meeting, but the part that does bother me is sort of her handing over the entity light bulb and Ethan choosing, it seems to me that he's choosing to say, yes, I am the only one that should be in charge of this thing. I am the one person to trust.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Although, does he take it out and look at it?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't take it out, but I think he opens the box and looks at it.
Because if they cut that, she could have been handing him anything.
True.
What I wanted, obviously, and what I guess they were not willing to do. She would, it would turn into like a mission briefing. It wasn't the bottle at all. It was just like another.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I did like the slow play of the theme song I wrote down.
Yeah, absolutely. Music's fine. I like the music from the beginning too.
Yeah.
And yeah,
easy with the banging around.
Well,
I
had to take water. Sorry, otherwise I was going to cough. And he's kind of literally the keeper of the flame, right? He's got like the Olympic torch.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why Simon Pegg is always on the verge of crying in each of the scenes. Like, is it he can't have been every take where he was nearly crying. So he must have picked that take specifically.
Run out of juice at some point.
Yeah.
Anything else before credit check?
Just that, like, if this movie didn't have this scene, if it ended with him and the parachute and the lonely goat herders.
Yeah.
Like, this is the biggest. Adding this scene is the biggest sense that they're not actually done. And I think a lot of people got that because there's still a team in place if you want to go forward with it.
Sure.
So
Tarzan now part of the team.
Tarzan and Anime Woman, and
you could say Paris.
I just keep forgetting that's her name. She's so insignificant to me. So this was, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're gonna do more."
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think they may have talked themselves back into it after the decent returns of this movie.
Still, though, it's a $400 million budget. Like, this movie's not going to make money.
Yeah, I guess
when you add on top of it, like giving half the money away to theaters and then also your promotion.
But there's got to be. I mean, Paramount / Skydance. Can't be done with this property.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
we'll give them some ideas on the next episode.
Yeah, this is the house that Mission Impossible. Skydance was the house that Mission Impossible built.
Yeah.
So I can't believe they're done with it. They may be done with Tom Cruise, and I think he's probably done with doing Mission Impossibles. But I can't imagine that the IMF are not gonna feature in
be back in our lives.
TV, animation, video games, that kind of thing.
All right, well, we're at 2 hours and 41 minutes. You better give us a fucking credit check.
All right. Let's see if let's do this. Tank filtration engineer Glenn Heffernan and assistant filtration engineer Doug Heffernan.
Oh, there you go.
So related filtration engineers. Also,
Related filtration engineers.
also, Doug Heffernan is the name of Kevin James's character in The King of Queens.
No.
So, double connection there. Tom Cruise credits himself as one of the pilots twice. His vanity and his sanity is out of control. Take one less credit, dude. One less credit. Twice.
That's great.
He puts himself in as the pilot for 2 different biplanes.
For both yellow and red?
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then my final credit check note, stock footage provided by... Now, there are enough clips in this movie. Are you telling me some of it's stock footage as well? How much original content is even in this movie if some of it is stock footage? There you go.
That's it?
That's it, yeah.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, well, you know, this is the 7th of these movies that we've done, and since Rogue Nation, it's basically been the same group of people working on it. So
Yeah, that's true.
there's not many new credit checks.
Heard. All right. Well, nothing left for you, correct?
Correct.
All that's left is the necessity for you to tell us what you think of this movie. It's so weird. I feel exactly the same about it. I have so many problems with this movie, and yet when I think of it, little smile across my face, and I'm like, yeah, it's a fun enough watch.
Well, you know, we've
And it's
got
worth the price of admission just for that fucking submarine scene. It's so goddamn good.
Yeah, no argument there. The biplane is one of the best stunts in the series.
Definitely.
One of the best sequences in the series. It's the housing of that's the problem.
Yeah.
But either or both of those sequences are worth basing a movie around, just not this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I put it.
All right. Well, if you're going to tell us what you think, you're going to have to do all the things on the books and the grams and the threads and the X's.
Tubes.
Tubes. Skis. End of
Patreon.
list.
Patreons.
Well,
Well, you have to give us money for that, but...
yeah.
No. You get 7 days free. Sign up.
Yeah, go nuts.
Listen to what we think about the originals of all the movies that we've talked about. And the
And-
reboots.
Then start giving us money.
And don't just sign up for a 7-day trial like I do with other Patreons. Just download it all and then never go back.
Yeah, I think you're the opposite of me and everybody else. You're good at quitting those things before the 7 days come up.
Only so I can make hugely outrageous purchases for things that I can't justify.
Heard.
I'll tell. There's a lucrative lucrative. That's the wrong word.
Careful. 2 hours, 45 minutes.
It's not I was going to say lucrative. It's not making me any money. There's a ludicrous purchase associated with the next series we're doing, which of course we won't tell you about until we get to our poster episode.
I'm excited. Or send an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com.
Torpedo tube.
All right. All right. When you hear us next, for some reason, we're going to advocate for this series going on.
Yeah.
We'll be pitching sequels, people.
All right. Are you listening?
What's that?
Are you listening, Skydance?
Yeah, exactly. You got that to look forward to. All right. For Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions, Michael Shantz here of the How Dare You Awards. Like I said, coming back next week with some pitches. Look forward to that. Say goodbye to everybody, Tom.
You spend too much time on the internet! Now, knowingly or not, that is channeling Captain Kirk kicking Christopher Lloyd's Klingon captain in the head in Star Trek 3.
Nice.
I am tired of you!
All right, we're coming in just under 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Woo!